Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning! Happy Football Friday to all across the Delaware Valley. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. We're presented by Rite Aid, your neighborhood pharmacy, riteaid.com, to check out the nearest Rite Aid location. Scripts, flu shots, little tchotchkes around the house, whatever you need, Rite Aid. All right, today is a Football Friday. Last night was epic. All right, last night was heaven. Can I just go here? It's an ode to football, all right? And last night in Cleveland, it's the Steelers and the Browns. And I'll take that game in those conditions with the snow cascading, the wind blowing. I'll take that over the Super Bowl any freaking day of the week and all the hype and glitz and starlets and everything else, the halftime shows. They can go scratch, all right? Because last night was football. Last night was everything that we love. If I can tell you that I sat there and enjoyed it, just like watching it, ultimate happy place watching that last night. And to me, there's nothing better. We were talking about it earlier in the week about how I think football is still great and I love it. It's better than ever. The way it's produced. Like last night with the snow, they did the virtual yard markers, right? So, you normally can't see it, but they put in the virtual yard markers so you can actually see on the field where they were, which is just brilliant. The telecast, the way that the schedule, like we'll have a Black Friday game and we'll have the Christmas Day games. It's college football, the way it's going to be set up. It's the best. And it's the only thing in the world that I think I truly enjoy. Like, I love baseball, and baseball playoffs are fantastic. And I love basketball. But, like, let's take the NBA for a second. And I don't want to just, poop on the NBA all the time. And because I love it. I watch it. I'm a hypocrite, right? Like, I put on Lakers last night, and I was watching my boy connect, right? Like, I was watching the Lakers last night. And so I watch it. So I'm a complete hypocrite. But what rankles me about the NBA compared to, like, the NFL and watching football is like I see the commercials for the Cup, the NBA Cup, which we all know is just nonsense. It's meaningless. It's trying to derive something, and it's just fake. And I'm sorry, I freaking hate it, all right? Because it has no meaning. And what I hate about it is, and I don't blame them, but it's a whole marketing thing. It's just a big fraud. Like, they'll have celebrities. Who's winning the cup? Oh, the cup. And then you throw these obnoxious courts. Who's winning the cup? Nobody cares about the cup. It's the same teams. It's just a thing that you made up. It doesn't have any meaning. You didn't go through 2.5 months of playoffs, arduous, to raise that trophy. That matters. Not a cup. Last night, and at AFC North, the North. That is, to me, supreme athletics. That's man and elements. It's physicality. It's football. It was an NFL film's come to life reality right before your eyes. And you're sitting in your cozy living room and you're watching this stuff, and it's just pure joy. And I love Jameis Winston, and I mean, it's the Steelers, right? Like, I've always had a weird kind of, I don't have any hatred toward the Steelers. I admire them. I'm not a fan, obviously, but I admire what that franchise is about. I'm a fan of Tomlin. I'm a fan of how they do things. I like that Western PA football thing, Ohio football. Like, I'm a big Herb Street fan. And so Herbie is excited. He was great. He was really engaged last night. And he's like, this is Ohio football. Like, to me, that is a supreme entertainment. It's just fantastic. It's everything that we love to consume. And watching it, and it's a great game, and it's back and forth, and it's, you know, in that setting, I had to take a moment, and I want to do the ode to football. Andrew, let's see some of the let me see the snow, man. Let me see the snow fall off of Lake Erie. Like, all that stuff. It's why, like, I love Baldy, right? Like, it's when he gives you, hey, I'm about this guy, and he talks in prepositions, this and that. I love it. There's something about that sport that is so intoxicating that it really is, like, it reaches our, like, most banal instinct. Physicality, trying to gain earth, right? Like, it's, look at it. Look at that. Let it play. Look at this.
Let it snow. The Cleveland Browns got some more wins, baby. Let's get it.
That's right, James.
Hey, buddy. I just got off Amazon.
Grab the spaghetti on me, baby.
Ordered a dove off Amazon. It's going to get here to my house by 9 o'clock tonight. That's how fast it is.
It's fantastic. Like, the whole field, it's like a blizzard. There's nothing better. And we got Sunday Night Football, man. Eagles and Rams. And what I love about that sport is it's in different regions of the country, it's celebrated differently. Like so Sunday night will be the pristine field of Los Angeles, the city of angels. And there are the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. And there's A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley against, you know, oh my God, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Nacua, Kyron Williams from Notre Dame. Like, it's just theatrical. And whether it's Saturday in Columbus for Indiana versus Buckeyes, or it's Eagles Rams Sunday night, or last night, it's the greatest theater we got going. And it's amazing because the older I get, things in life start to fall by the wayside. And you go, well, that's really not that special. And that's why people have that, like, get off my lawn mentality, because they've seen stuff, right? And you could see through, like, fugazis. Football is the greatest. There's a purity about that sport, and I freaking love it. Good morning, my boys. VG, Violations Greg, JP, John Zapata.
Yes.
How great was last night?
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Come on. We're telling you right now.
We're doing Oklahoma drills in the parking lot.
Dude.
Oh, that's my favorite. The kids do that. I get the kids to do that. Oh,
It was fun. Everyone loved it.
Was that great
Dude.
last night?
It's infectious. We all felt like little kids. I was at the bar watching it. Everyone's glued to the TV. The visuals, dude. Tomlin looked like he just walked out of the North Pole.
Yes!
It's like snow. Look at that field, dude.
Santa Mike.
It's the best, dude.
Tomlin's got his whole beard's covered in
it's
snow.
white.
Yeah.
You look like Santa Mike.
That's how I fell in love with the sport, cuz it was the AFC divisional round. It was Colts, Patriots in Foxborough.
In Foxborough.
Teddy,
They were hanging on Marvin, right? And they're hanging on Reggie Wayne.
Teddy
Bill
Brewski's
Belichick.
breath in the air. Oh, that's how I fell in love with the sport.
The theater. It's theater, right? Like, it's true entertainment.
Yes.
Because it is. It's the greatest thing in the world. Because you're watching these dudes, and it's physical, and it's tough.
That's right.
And you gotta. I joke about the Revenant, right? It's cold, and it's the plains, and that's what it feels like. It actually feels it, and there's nothing better than
You
it.
got the lines of scrimmage where they're lined up. You see the breath coming out of them, the snow falling.
What's funny is that I was scrolling through Twitter and they were talking about there was going to be snow tonight for the Thursday night game.
Yeah.
I automatically thought of you because, like, I knew you were AFC North physical
I
football.
love it.
Snow.
It's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that's what's great. Like that division is all the North,
the best.
right? Like it's great. Like Steelers, Ravens.
You got
Browns.
Old Russ and
Right.
Jameis. Man, two mediocre quarterbacks, but it doesn't matter. The game was awesome.
It was fantastic. Russ is throwing balloon balls and those big giant flakes, right?
Yo, you're right, man. Props to that overlay. It's tastefully done. We actually were like, at first we thought it was shoveled, and then people were like, do they have heat on the field on the line markers? But that overlay that shows you everything.
Shouts
Look
in.
at that. Like, look at that. Look at that touchdown. And it was a great touchdown. It's 4th down.
Right.
Right? They decide to throw it. For the play before, and Njoku's got it in his hands. He drops it. And then Jameis, there's pressure coming. TJ Watt. And he's able to escape and pound into the end zone. Ah, come
The
on.
Saquon Hurdle diet style.
I mean, that's what's beautiful about that thing, man.
It was so much fun to watch. And it's like wasn't a great like it was a great game, but it wasn't a great game, but it was an amazing game.
And I don't know what it is about snow, and maybe you're
don't
right
either.
that it takes us back to our kids because there was nothing better than playing football in the snow because you had
absolutely.
padding on the street, right? Like it was just, you tackled and it was just, and you got snow up your nose, right? It was just,
You're all layered up, so you have like extra padding on
you got
yourself.
pads. Yeah, like it's just freaking awesome. And the sport is just great, man. The movement, each, from your line play to quarterback, because I love quarterbacks, to wide receivers and D-backs and the whole thing. It's just such a perfect sport.
And it is because you're like you mentioned, you're going to get the total dichotomy. You're going to go to Southern California.
Yes.
Sleek, beautiful, fast.
And I don't know
It's
about
gonna be
you,
a
right?
great
Like, so
game.
we grew up, like Sunday, you had, whatever, your network TV. You didn't have Red Zone, right?
Right.
So it was cold and it was always free. Like, now it's getting cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
But somehow it was colder back then. Right? Am I right or wrong?
No, it's
I mean, I know
freezing.
everybody says it. Every generation, it was cold back then. It was snow. It was freezing. But it felt cold. I don't know, whatever. But Sunday afternoon, and they would go to like San Diego. And on NBC,
Warm you up a little bit.
it would be like the Chargers against the Broncos in San Diego. And you would see it, and like it's freezing here, and there it's the beautiful grass, and you're
Cheerleaders
like, wow.
are out in the skimpy outfits. You're like,
Right.
how are they not freezing?
Right?
Like, what?
Well, the 1 o'clock game would be like in Cincinnati. And it would be like, that ugly turf, and it's freezing. You see the breath, and Bengals and whatever, Raiders. And it was just awesome, And then, like I could close my eyes and go to each stadium, right? Like every stadium. Think about it.
Three Rivers,
you
Paul
go
Brown.
go to Giant Stadium.
It's all
To this day, I still hate Giant
It's all
Stadium.
because of Brent Musburger when he'd say you're looking live, and he would put a
Yeah.
name and a visual to the stadiums. Like,
And it just each one of them had their own personality, right?
Mhm.
So like you would have the Dome.
Coliseum.
Yeah, the Coliseum was outrageous. You would have the Soldier Field.
Yeah,
Is there anything
Soldier
better than Soldier Field
right.
as a name? Soldier Field.
Yeah,
Right on the
right
banks
off the
of Lake
river, the lake.
Michigan.
Yeah, right.
Are you kidding me? Like I remember the first time I set foot in Lambeau, and I was covering. It was the one of that I remember the most stands out. I was covering Packers, Niners championship game. It was Favre, and I guess it was Steve Young. And I'll never forget. I got there early, and it's freezing, like freezing out. Like it's Green Bay cold. That's another layer of cold. And you're there, and there's people out. And they had their cheese heads and their they had this thing pepperoni. It was like a yellow pepperoni stick that they would wave around. And
I know
crazy.
this.
And I remember sitting in Lambeau, and I go to the press box. It's just like this, crickety old press box. And I was looking around. I'm going, this is heaven. Look at this place. It's unbelievable. It's cold, but it's football. It's everything about football that you love, that we love.
Everybody talks like John Facenda out
Yes.
there. Good morning, Anthony. Welcome to Lambeau Field.
Yeah, it's either they talk like Facenda or they talk from the South.
No, that's right.
Like Southern football. Or that Midwest,
Like
that
football.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Ohio. Right, like they have
I
that
can't do Ohio.
accent.
I'm sure Fraser
That's
can do
the
Ohio.
beauty of football. That's why it's the greatest. And I get like the only thing that bums me out. I was thinking about this morning. I go, damn, it's already Thanksgiving, and
Goes by like this.
soon it'll be February.
don't bring up February.
And I don't want to slight the other sports because I love baseball and I love hockey and I love basketball. I do. I love them all. But there is something that's just so magical that it hits you in the soul, man.
Yeah.
It's all about it. And watching a game that I have no rooting interest, right? Like literally no. I could care less who wins. Didn't bet it. There's nothing. I'm just look at it and watch the game, and I'm just enjoying it. Like it's the greatest thing in the world. And we'll have Thanksgiving Day football. It's just the greatest sport. It is. I love it. I love everything about
They
it.
do a really nice job with the production, especially the primetime games and the national games. The production's great, but you get like the combination of finesse plays. You get brutality. It's just got everything you want.
And then I don't know. You dump that powder, right? And it's a snow globe.
Snow globe is the
And
best.
you look at it and you just go, "Wow, this is awesome." It's just awesome.
It's weird. I don't know
Snow.
why it is.
I don't know
But
either.
it is.
It's funny, but all four of us, right, Andrew? All four of us had the same reaction.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Like all four of us went like we come in this morning and we're all four of us are chopping it up and we're talking about last night. Like, oh, freaking awesome was that?
I'm just texting my wife. I was like, I hope it snows this weekend now. Like some
I know.
snow.
No, there's some flurries. There were flurries last night.
Yeah.
And there was flurries this morning.
You did set up like Sunday night great, but I was like, dude, after last night, Eagles got to play in that nice weather in that dome.
Nah, but here's the beauty of it, right? Like,
Okay.
you love the difference, like the variety of how that sport is played. Like I do. Like I love it. Whether it's the pristine Southern California and it's 68 degrees, no humidity, right? Clear evening. Like there's something special about that, right? There's something special about it's like Madden mode, right?
Yeah.
You have all the different weather. Then you get the wind games, and you have the dome. Like there's something that you fear in the dome. Like let's talk about the Eagles. They need to get home field advantage.
They do.
I mean, if we're talking Super Bowl, I just don't want to go into Detroit.
You're right.
They're a different team in that dome, and you've seen it. This is the anniversary. The Rams are celebrating the greatest show on turf. It's 25 years, right? And that dome, fast track, those receivers, right? Falk, run it.
Oh man,
Saw it in 01.
Like they were, like that was nasty. Like the dome, fast track, like it's got its own thing. And Lions, I want the Lions at the link.
Absolutely.
Right? Like the Lions at the link. And Goff, there's wind now.
Come to our alley.
What are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do with the wind howling at the link?
Blistering.
Like,
Fold.
Think about the advantage.
I mean, we saw it in 2017, 2018.
Oh yeah.
Like
Minnesota.
Minnesota,
Yeah.
Atlanta.
That's a good point.
Yeah. You're right. And if you look at that Lions team, they can run it, but they're sleek backs. Saquon is a cold weather outdoor back. Jalen, he'll run the ball, right? Eagles have a distinct advantage. Like, listen, St. Brown's good, and Jamison Williams are good, but they're great in the dome. Out of the dome, let me see Jared Goff go down the field to Jamison Williams when there's a 22-mile-an-hour wind gust.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, let me see.
And you can't feel your hands. It's not perfect. Like, your fingers are cold, and the ball's got moisture on it. Let me, I can't get that grip. I got to get the ball down the field. It works in the dome. don't work at the link.
Good luck with those golf hands, those little tiny hands.
Yeah.
Good luck with that here,
Yeah,
Nicole.
get the rat hands.
Yeah, no chance. No chance. Little tiny hands.
I mean, that's why I go, there's something to play for. I think it's monumental that they get home field.
Well, it's like giddy up, man. These next 4 weeks is it. It's going to be a good test. They're good.
Yeah.
We'll find out now. I mean, they played a Bengals team that's not great, and they didn't have Higgins. They shut down Daniels. He's a rookie. Sore ribs? I don't know. But let's see now. Now we got Stafford, Ravens. Let's go.
I feel good about Sunday night, though, cuz.
This is going to be the test for the secondary.
Oh, yeah.
This is it. This is the litmus test.
I know.
Love those kids, man.
Yeah.
And they got it. Man, let's face it. Kupp in the slot. Cooper v. Cooper. And then on the outside.
Puka.
Nacua.
Yeah.
Puka beads. All right?
Yeah.
Puka beads against
I can't wait to see this matchup.
Dude, it's going to be so much fun to watch.
San Quentin Penitentiary. Like that's great. Like the whole thing is just fantastic. And then you can't forget Kyron Williams, who is a terrific back and a big part of that offense. You got Jalen Carter is going to be huge in this game because it's why I talked to Baldy about it yesterday. He's got to get in the Stafford's face. No quarterback, but particularly Stafford, hates A-gap pressure.
Yeah.
Right? He hates it. There was a game on the way to their Super Bowl a couple years ago. They had 3 offensive linemen out, all interior guys, or 2 of the 3 interior guys. And pressure up the middle. It was Baltimore. I forget who played them. Buffalo. Well, they just crowded the interior line, and they just swooped them. And freaks him out. Like Carter, quick get off, get in his face, disrupt that passing game.
I mean, that's going to be. Well, they are healthier now. I think they were missing a bunch of offensive linemen.
No, I was talking about before.
Yeah. So, this is going to be. This is the test. The defense versus Fangio's defense versus offense. That's what it's all about, man. I can't wait to watch it.
Should be able to get to Stafford. And Jalen Carter had a good game last year, too.
Now, the other side of the ball, I'm interested. Like, all right, here we go. There's some question about Devontae.
Yes.
And whether or not he can play, right? So it'll be interesting. The one piece, now that Rams defense is pretty young, and we know about Verse. But here's the thing. They're very vulnerable middle of the field.
Yeah.
And I think you got to deploy Goddard. Like, this got to be a Goddard game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're vulnerable middle of the field. I want to see, and I want to see Jalen take that another step where now he's pepper in the middle of the field. Short, right? Nice. Intermediate throws. Give me that 10-yard, 15. Pop, pop, boom. Got it. Like
Calcaterra.
I want to see it.
Come on, man. A little Calcaterra action. You just glossing over him, man. He's a nice player.
Play last week.
I need Goddard. All right? I got to.
Give him the Goddard.
Goddard is a very good tight end. And I need Goddard.
We'll see in the first 15 plays, too. We always talk about that, how they set up the first 15 plays. Let's make the game plan. Those first 15, some Dallas Goddard.
I need to see Goddard. I need to see it.
Yeah, I think moving the ball in the air for Jalen is going to be key in this game. Finding ways to, the ground game is one
listen,
thing.
you crowd a line of scrimmage, right? You're going to try to, they're all going to try to stop Saquon.
Exactly.
But here's the beauty of Saquon, right? Is that you just keep pounding him.
Yeah.
Pounding
He
him.
can't be stopped.
And sooner or later, the dam breaks. And Saquon goes 35 to the house.
That's a great way to put it.
All right. We got lots to get to. A lot of fun coming up. Frady Films, perfect guy to talk to today. Cannot wait for the films.
Great article for the diehards, too.
Yeah, he's the best. We'll go over the game plan with Franny like we do every Friday. Brain, Mikey Garafolo, NFL Network, our Rothman doc, St. Joe's Prep, big game coming up. We'll talk to my man Danny D, and, of course, TV Todd. Lots to get to on the Anthony Gargano Show. Take it away, boys.
All right, cuz. Let's start off talking about Empire today. That's right, because, listen, and that text that I sent over to my wife is like, listen, hon, I'm feeling like the at home. We're going to stay at home this weekend. It's freezing outside. I want to watch some football. It's November. It's that good football time. And, of course, we're all going to be doing the same thing, too, right? It's cold. Everyone wants to stay inside, stay nice and warm. And so you're going to be looking down at that floor. Let's be honest. You're going to be looking at that floor quite a bit. And you need to change it. That flooring has been there for way too long. It's starting to get decrepit. It's starting to lose its color and its shape. So we're going to use Empire today for everything we need with our flooring, ladies and gentlemen, because they're going to give us that in-home convenience. They're going to give you the product that we need. And of course, they're going to give us that quick and professional installation guaranteed. And of course, Empire today has competition like every other team that we love, right? But the best part about Empire today, what these other competitors are doing is that they're offering you a low price, but that also means low quality. Empire today is not going to do that. What they're going to do is they're going to put a floor in your house that they would only put in their house. And that's the Empire Today difference. So what are you waiting for? Schedule the in-home free estimate right now. Our listeners can receive up to a $350 off discount right now. That's $350, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good little discount. Use the promo code PHLY. Keep in mind that restrictions do apply. Check out empiretoday.com/PHLY for more details. And thank you to our friends over at Empire
Today. Hey, don't forget about our friends over at True Mark Financial Credit Union. Credit unions, they're good for you. Lower rates, lower fees. They collect their profits at the end of the year. They send it back to the shareholders. You're part of a community when you join a credit union. And that's a good thing about True Mark Financial. They do have the better rates. They got the lower fees. They got all the tech and app stuff so you can manage your accounts. They got local roots. They're headquartered right here in Fort Washington. They got 24 branches in the Philly area. They serve our community and our people right here at home. And becoming a member has never been easier. They got more benefits than those big banks where you're just a number on a spreadsheet. And you're not a face. You're not a person. That's what you are, Truemark Financial Credit Union. So head over to truemark.com/PHLY to learn more and to find a branch near you. That's truemark.com/PHLY. They are federally insured by the NCUA, and they are geeked up for this game as well.
Woo! I love it. You know what I love? Franny Films. All right? Franny Films, my main man. I know he was loving last night. We just spent the last 25 minutes ode to football. Franny, was that not beautiful?
It doesn't get any better than football in the snow, guys. So being able to take that in last night, you got a division rivalry game between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. It doesn't get any better than that. Great start to what should be a great weekend of football.
Well, and that's a great rivalry. So having covered a lot of games out there in Ohio, Pittsburgh, right there, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, you're talking an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes away. It's a great rivalry. The AFC North is fabulous. And you run off the shores of Lake Erie, and there comes the big flakes, and you can't see it, and it's physical. And, God bless Russ. We didn't talk about Russ. We talked a lot about Jameis Winston. But Russ took some shots. Like, Cleveland was getting after it, man. And they were hitting him. He took some shots.
Yeah, that Jim Schwartz, he's always going to bring that heat, right? And when you have a guy like Myles Garrett on one side, even though they traded Zadarius Smith, that defensive line still has some teeth. And so I think when you look at that Cleveland Browns front, we talked about it when the Eagles played the Browns early on this season. They have that ability with that four-man rush to get after you. And when you have a weather game like that, that's where we know those games are won and lost in the trenches.
Yeah, it was just great theater, man. It was incredible. All right, let's go. Birds, Eagles, Rams. It's a great matchup. It's a great test. We'll go to the obvious first, and it's Nacua and Kupp v. Mitchell and Coop v. Coop.
Yeah, when you look at that group, that they have not been healthy for this season. I mean, I think they've played 154 snaps together as a foursome so far this year. When you look at Stafford, the two receivers, and the back. And since the beginning of last season, when all four of those players on the field, they're number one in the league in EPA per play. They're number one in the league in explosive play rate. They're number one in the league in yards per play. And that's ahead of teams like San Francisco with that death lineup of McCaffrey and Debo and Ayuk. That's ahead of Miami with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That's ahead of what the Eagles have here. That's ahead of the Lions, right? So this is a very tough offense to go up against. Last week, again, as those guys are getting healthier, that was their best offensive performance of the season. So this is going to be a big test here for Vic Fangio and this defense, because what they do, what Sean McVay does, he does such a great job of stressing your rules in zone coverage. And they do it with motion. They do it with bunch sets. They do it with play action. And so they're always going to try and find a guy. They're going to circle a player before every snap. And we're going to say, okay, he's going to have a run responsibility, and he's going to have to try and cover two guys in coverage. he can't be right. So it's not even like, oh, this guy's weak. This guy's not a good defender, but they're going to put you through a lot. So this is a big spotlight game for Kupp and Dejean, for both linebackers, for the safeties. They're going to always, especially in the middle of the field, they're going to try to attack those guys and put them in conflict.
Yeah, and that's where it's funny because that's where I think obviously Kupp does a lot of his damage, a lot of his work out of the slot. And this is going to be an interesting matchup for Cooper because you're right. They're going to try to confuse him. They're going to try to put multiple responsibilities on him. And this is going to be a great test for him. I love the way that defense has come together. I think it's going to be paramount for Carter to flash in Stafford's face. No quarterback likes A-gap pressure, but it freaks Stafford out, man. I seen it. You saw when he has O-line troubles, up the middle is where the pressure just it freezes him. And I think Carter is going to play a big role in that.
He's getting up there in age, right? And you get to that point where, if you're going to see Rothman orthopedic a little bit more often than you did 5-10 years ago. And I think you could kind of see that with the way that he plays is that when he's facing pressure this year, he's like, screw this, ball's coming out. And it might not be on target. It might be out of bounds. It might be in the dirt, but he has really struggled this year when it comes to facing pressure, handling pressure. He has not run one time on a scramble all season. We're in week 12. He has not run one time on a scramble. So it's not like Jaden Daniels last week where you're going to have to make sure you contain. No, this is like get after him. Remember last year, Jalen Carter had a huge game in that one, matched up against Kevin Dotson, the right guard for the Rams. That will be the matchup here again in this game. But I mean, they're starting a rookie center right now. They're mixing and matching pieces up front. I think this is an opportunity where, if that defensive line can get after Matthew Stafford, that can certainly tilt this game in the other direction. But honestly, you would say the same thing on the other side of the ball as well.
Well, Jared Verse, who has been terrific. He and Mitchell neck and neck, defensive rookie of the year. Let me throw this at you because we were talking about it earlier, especially with Devontae being questionable for this game. I think this should be a Goddard game. And it's always a Saquon game, but I think it should be Goddard. Middle of the field, there's matchups for him to exploit. I'd like to see Jalen pepper the middle of the field. I think Goddard can have a big game.
He had a huge game last year when these two teams played. It was like something like 6 for 120 and a touchdown. And so, I do think that there's areas that you can exploit, certainly with this secondary. I love the way this defense plays, Anthony. I think when you look at their profile, look, they don't have a lot of household names. It's a lot of young players, a lot of mid-round picks, late-round picks. They've got like 6 or 7 undrafted free agents on this defense in the 2 deep, right? So I think when you look at it, it's not a lot of names you're going to recognize, but they put a ton of pressure on you because of the way that they play, especially once you get to 2nd down and 3rd down. Once they think that it's a passing down, blood's in the water, and they're going to put 5, 6, 7 guys up on the line of scrimmage, and you don't know who's coming. They don't blitz that often, but it'll be 4 guys coming, a bunch of guys dropping out. And honestly, that's been an area where Jalen Hurts has struggled at times over the course of the last couple of years. Has been when you're able to try and crowd the line of scrimmage, send bodies at him, and he's going to get pressure in this game. The Rams have been one of the top 2 or 3 pressure teams in football, especially over the last month. And Jalen Hurts has been pressured more than any quarterback in football. And that's not an offensive line stat. That has been a quarterback stat for Jalen Hurts the majority of this game. The way he plays, he does invite pressure.
Listen, and so I talk to DCs around the league, and that's the book. Book is pressure Jalen. That's what they're going to try to do. That's why he's number one in seeing pressure.
And what's going to happen then, that's going to determine the outcome of this game is, okay, because it's not like Jalen's terrible versus pressure. It's more like now you're rolling the dice as a defense, and now it becomes, okay, can we get him to throw us a pick? Can we get him to take sacks and end drives? And that's how, honestly, in that document, in my game notes, my notes of the Rams going into this game, the number one thing for me in terms of key to the game for the offense, how do you handle pressure in terms of not allowing those disaster plays, right? You don't need a sack fumble in the pocket when you're in minus territory, and now you give the Rams and that offense a short field. You don't want to be throwing interceptions against this offense and giving them those short field opportunities. And so for me, he's going to get pressured. This isn't going to be like, oh, protect Jalen Hurts and don't let him get pressured. Pressure's going to happen. It's more about, can you burn them on the backside? Because honestly, the biggest mismatch in this game, if you have a healthy Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown going up against those corners, that's a matchup the Eagles should be able to win over time. Talent will win out there. But to me, it's all about just making sure that the disaster plays do not happen.
Agreed. Let's see, Andrew, give you a little snapshot of my man's work for this week. This is the game plan. This is why you got to become a diehard, and you get to see this incredible game. How long did it take for the game plan this week?
Yeah, I mean, I started watching the Rams. I was with Jamie Lynch on Thursday. Eagles getting ready to play Washington Thursday night, but I was sitting there. I was already starting the Rams that day. I usually start watching the next week's opponent, Wednesday, Thursday of the previous week, and so this is obviously it's a few days in the making there. But looking at the Rams offense, and obviously a lot of this too is stuff. I mean, I've been watching the Rams now for a few years, and this is a seasoned offense, and just my knowledge of this opponent and what they like to do schematically. Update those numbers every Tuesday, Wednesday, and then this document gets spit out. So I would say about a week in the making. This goes.
Look at that,
dude.
You want that,
dude? If you want blitz rate success, stunt percentage, pressure percentage with no blitz, it's crazy. He's like a beautiful mind. This guy was that? Was it Russell Crowe in that movie? Yeah, dude. He's
so we have
in the
like
best
a
way
glass,
possible. Sick.
We have a glass like window into the studio, and I want you in white, like what is that, chalk or whatever that is, like marker. I want you to marker up. In fact, do that one day. Marker up the whole window of the studio in diagram. All right.
Yeah, he's got explosive.
See, the thing is like on one side that could be Beautiful Mind, Russell Crowe, and the other side it could be like Charlie Day with the conspiracy theory from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I want to try and trend towards Russell Crowe in that situation.
No, you're Russell Crowe, dude. No, you're Russell Crowe in this. I mean, this is.
You want the light box run rate, the explosive run percentages. It's just. It goes on and on and on.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You people, trust me, it's the best thing you'll ever do.
There's nothing out there.
A geek like we are, and you love football, you got to do it. You got to do it. But the biggest thing I can't wait for is you and I. We're going to do draft, and you and I are going to do draft together. So
I'm knee deep on that, man. I was watching a receiver from Iowa State this morning, so we're rolling now.
Well, how about my man? How about Rocco Becht? Guess what? The kid, he's not a next level guy, but he's a great kid. Anthony Becht's son, who's a quarterback at Iowa State. I love him, man. I love that kid. And guess what? He's a gamer, man.
They've got two receivers coming out this year, so he's he'll a lot of NFL evaluators will be watching him this offseason.
How about speaking of college, we got a big one on Saturday. Columbus back in Ohio, Indiana, Ohio State, Cignetti.
I know. And when you look at the end of the day, like I would expect, it's what we were saying about the Eagles receivers. Like I expect talent to win out. Ohio State's a more talented team than Indiana. You love what Indiana has done this year. I'm fascinated to see like what they're able to do in this game. Obviously, they're going to come in with a lot of confidence, but it's going to have huge implications into what the college football playoff rankings look like a week from now. Is what does this outcome look like for the Hoosiers? It's been a great story. If they're able to win this game, man, that's going to throw a wrench in terms of like the Big Ten rankings and like how that would be fascinating.
If Indiana wins, it's complete chaos.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people that think Ohio State's the number one team in the country. You know, and I get why you would feel that way.
I have seen all of them, and I watch every one of them. I can't tell you. I look at it and I go, Georgia, I think is undervalued. Because they played. I mean, you got to give them credit. I know that Beck's not what we thought he would be. And then I look at Bama and I go, Bama's always dangerous, man. Like, Bama's also passed some tests. I'm not the biggest believer in Oregon. Ohio State, I'm still like, I don't think they're a clear-cut best team. They're dangerous, obviously. And then I go around Texas.
Texas has had moments,
They look, at times, but then there's times I go, I don't trust them. The Irish... I mean, I think the Irish could be a dark horse.
They go down.
Right?
Army this weekend.
Let's go Irish.
No, we saw Notre Dame against Navy. Now Army's better, but I still think it's a talent thing.
I mean, does Indiana have a chance? They're like 10-point dogs. This feels like Ohio State by 20.
No, Indiana's got a shot.
And that's the thing. Like going back to talent, right? I mean, Indiana, we know like Ohio State, they are loaded with talent, and some of that talent has underperformed this year. Like hasn't met quite the expectations, especially on the defensive side of the football. But you look at Indiana. They're probably going to have like 10 guys ish, something like that, 8 to 10 guys that might get a combine invite. And even then you're talking like late round day 3 picks. And you look at Ohio State, and again, on both sides of the ball, there's a ton of talent and a lot of guys with high pedigree. And so, and they're pretty well coached. Chip Kelly's got that offense working at a high level. We just, we haven't seen the consistency yet.
I'm not a Day fan. And I loathe Chip Kelly, right? So I root against Buckeyes. I do. There were times I liked them, right? Like there were times but Ryan Day, I think, is a half a snake. And I mean, what he did to McCord was not right. He scapegoated that kid for the Michigan game. And look, I mean, nobody was beating. First of all, Harbaugh outcoached him 7 ways from Sunday. All right, they weren't beating him, and you scapegoat the kid, which I thought was wrong. And I hate Chip Kelly. So
I'm going to bet the team over just for points. I believe in Chip Kelly in this offense. Chip Kelly bet for me. You got to get gratitude.
Go with that
Lane
guy.
Johnson, man, gratitude. Chip left us with Lane. Show some gratitude.
Dude, anybody could have taken Lane.
Oh, no.
Are you out of your mind?
You started sometimes, yes.
Dude, before go back to the tape. I'm at Chickies and Pete's. Lane's on the board. It's about to start day 2. Lane.
Thank God, because we would have gotten Deion
Yeah,
Jordan.
thank God he took him. Thank God you had someone with football brains, Chip Kelly, to take him. Thank God.
What are you doing on a Friday?
Hey, we were thinking connect.
Dude, I just want to enjoy football, right?
Hey, Freddie, can I get back to because reading your notes, you mentioned the Rams with these exotic blitzes. They generate pressure with 11 defenders. Are they one of the more complicated schemes that Jalen has faced this year?
I think for sure, because I look, it's a different kind of test. We were talking about the Cleveland Browns at the top of this conversation. There's not a lot of mystery to the way the Browns are going to play, right? They're going to line up with their 4-man rush. Every once in a while, third down, you might see some double A gap pressures, but kind of run-of-the-mill stuff. They're going to try and out-talent you. Well, the Rams don't have a ton of talent defensively, right? They've got some young pieces, especially up front. Verse is playing well. Braden Fisk, the rookie second-round pick, he's playing well. They've got some young guys aside from those players as well, but they don't have a ton of talent, especially in the back 7. And so what that means is if you're not going to out-talent them, you got to out-scheme them. So they're doing some creative things from a coverage standpoint, and mainly the pressure schemes where they're going to have everybody standing up and they're going to put everybody up on the line of scrimmage. And four's coming, but who are the 4? What are the matchups? They're trying to get guys schemed up on running back. So that's going to be a big thing where Jalen Hurts, he's responsible for the protection schemes right now. He's going to have to make sure all of that stuff is ironed out to make sure, okay, who's got who is my guy as the quarterback, that if this guy comes free, I've got to make sure I make him miss. And he's done a good job of that over the last couple of weeks, but all of that will need to be ironed out in this game.
Another big game this weekend, Niners-Packers, which is always a great one. Takes me back to that. I was talking about the championship game I covered in the 90s between those two teams, which I love that whole setting. Interesting one because, obviously it's the Eagles and Lions, but who's on the next tier? And those are 2 teams at that next tier. Who you got?
I think right now in that game, I'm leaning Green Bay. They're at home. You look at San Francisco, they just have not felt right for the majority of this season. Obviously, injuries have had a lot to do with that. But speaking of injuries, like Brock Purdy, he's got shoulder soreness. And, Kyle Shanahan said this week, hoping that he's going to feel okay for the game. Between that, McCaffrey not being all the way there, they still don't have Ayuk. They're really struggling to beat man-to-man coverage. Deebo Samuel has not seemed right for the majority of this season. Defensively, they're still kind of finding their way.
I will say this. Jennings has blossomed in the Ayuk role.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I still think there's a ceiling on what he can offer from a pure talent standpoint. I love the way he plays. He's tough. He's instinctive. He's reliable. But he's not a guy that's going to be like that game wrecker. Yeah. So when I look at this Green Bay defense, this is a team that can take the ball away. Purdy has taken more chances this year, and if he is banged up, I think that this could be a game that Green Bay is able to win and salt away, especially with that run game that they've got up there in their home stadium.
Who you buying more, right? Because Vikings are in Chicago, Who are you buying more in that tier of those three? Rank Packers, Niners, Vikings.
I think I'm buying Packers. I think when you look at the defenses they have faced for the majority of this year, I was listening to, I want to say it was the Athletic Football Show. Robert Mays had a great stat looking at the DVOA of the defenses that the Green Bay Packers have played this season. Basically, every single defense except for the Jaguars were in the top half of the league. They have just had a murderer's row of defenses that they've gone up against. We know that Jordan Love has not been healthy for the large chunk of this season. He is starting to kind of reach back into his full form. So I think when you look at what that offense can be long-term, I have a lot of belief in that coaching staff. Matt LaFleur's done an outstanding job this year. That's a team that you don't want to have to go there to Lambeau and play in January. We know that. So to me, that's of those three, I would put Green Bay at the top of that heap.
I would too, except there's one caveat. The Vikings defense is nasty. Flores is a great DC. In fact, I was talking to my man Mike Garafolo, who's linebackers coach there, and we were chopping up about their defense. They believe. The quarterback, I'm still suspect on. I don't know if I buy him, but that defense is legit. I don't want to play that defense.
No, definitely not. I think when you look at that defense and the problems they can give people, I mean, they're going to put that's going to be a house of horrors for Caleb Williams this week. I feel like that Minnesota comes away with another win. I think the big thing though is that we talk about the stability that Matt LaFleur gives Green Bay offensively. I just think that Sam Darnold, you're rolling the dice with him with every one of these dropbacks where he's going to make some big plays for you. He can make some big throws, but he also can throw some to the other team. He's going to have some bad misses. They've had some injuries on that side of the football in the trenches as well. So I think if I'm going to rank offense and defense for Green Bay and Minnesota, that Minnesota offense, I think, is fourth on that list behind probably that Green Bay defense because they've been so good at taking the ball away. And at some point, that luck is going to dry up. But I do think that overall, I've got a little bit more faith in that Green Bay defense.
No, you and I see the same way.
The Minnesota offense.
I just had to bring the Vikings D because I think they're dangerous. All right, talk gummies.
Yeah, what are you feeling, Franny? One gummy, two gummy, three gummies.
Well, look, it's a night game, right? So I mean, it's a little bit late. We had a full weekend of football. I think this might be a two gummy game. Honestly, guys, we were very excited about that matchup last week against Washington, and this is going to be a great matchup. Mm-hmm. To me, this game brings all of those same concerns, all those same anxieties, and there was a path certainly to the Eagles winning that game last week by double digits, and they won that game handily, and it should have been even a more lopsided score. And I think that exists here in this one. But when you look at this offense and what they can do with that passing game and with Matthew Stafford and Nacua and Kupp and that defense, if they're able to pressure Jalen into some mistakes, this team can bite you. And so to me, I would say this would be a two gummy game for you, Greg.
Smart, because you don't want to overdo it. It's late. You don't want to get sleepy. You want to have.
You got a show Monday morning.
Yeah. What do you think in the crock pot for the game?
Just because I'm going to be I'm going to be here, or not here, but I'm going to be there on Sunday. I'll actually be sitting right where you're sitting because we're doing a watch along, myself and Bo Wolf, through the game on Sunday, so everyone can check that out. But probably no crockpot Sunday. We'll see what I got in the pot for Saturday though.
Just bring in the office.
Shirt and tie Sunday night.
Probably. I think it's a dress to impress kind of night there for Sunday night.
We're in Hollywood.
I say sweater.
Sweater? All right.
Yeah, go sweater.
I'll follow that.
Like a sweater? Like a
you look good with a
full
sweater.
Or sweater vest?
No sweater vest.
You're talking like hoodie.
Out of the vest.
No, not a hood. Well, he could, but I'm just saying sweater. Okay. Holiday sweater.
I see what you're
Once along, it's perfect.
Yeah,
dress up
maybe
sweater.
borrow a sweater off Pat McClure.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
I like it.
Franny
Films. We love you, pal. You know that.
Love you guys. Appreciate it. We'll talk again next week.
Sounds good, buddy. Franny Films, checking in. Time now for the brain.
Brain. Red, the brain finder.
It's the ambassador of the Vent Park Sportsbook Online Casino app.
And he's looking handsome today. He's all cleaned up.
The
hair's done.
Once a week, man.
West Palm Beach lunch date. Woo!
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, VG, I'll tell you something. Normally it's a Monday, but I'm going to Jersey today. So I'm visiting Victoria's her dad. So I trying to look like a little less schlubby than normal. Yeah, I gotta fake it. I gotta fake it. Gotta at least look. By the way, Anthony, I cannot tell what hat is that.
Yeah, tell him, cuz.
Clearview Youth Football.
Oh, okay. Because it's funny. Yeah. I was like, I don't think it's Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah,
and I was.
It has that Bears look to be going. Oh, you're wearing a Bears hat? I'm like, no. Massimo and Anthony played for Clearview Youth Football, right. And Massimo plays in that. So I gear up with all my. I'm on the sidelines. I'm in gear. Right. I gotta wear the gear.
A lot of people in chat were wondering.
I respect it.
Glad you brought it up.
Youth football.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I like it.
Dude.
Good call last night.
Cuz, did I tell you Browns? You were on with me.
Yes.
I was like, Browns.
Yeah,
I thought they would win the game. I knew it. I freaking knew it. And you know what it is? Like those games coming off of the Ravens going to play in Cleveland, and it's like they wanted that game. The Browns won it. You heard Winston afterwards. Like, that was a big deal. And by the way,
it was their Super Bowl. It was their Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was. It was your Super Bowl. And I know you appreciate it the way we do. I spent the first 25 minutes gushing over football and how great football is. Football in the snow, baby. Nothing better.
It was very enjoyable. I enjoyed it very much. It was a really good game. It went down to the way end. I someone who had under 37.5 points when there was a 4th and 8. There was no way that game was getting over 37.5 points. No way until it happened. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was a tough one. But I actually enjoyed watching the game very much. Jameis, I got to give the guy credit. We know his warts, doesn't need to be explained to anyone. But the guy, say what you want to say about him. He plays hard. He busts his butt on the game. And
I mean, that touchdown was him. Pressure coming in.
No, I'm saying
down,
he say what you want to say about the guy, but he's a guy that he certainly gives max effort. And any guy who gives max effort, I always kind of just
I agree.
Give a little bit of a and he played really hard. And look, they went up against the Steelers defense needing to score. Russell Wilson, by the way, played well again. I mean, I've been impressed with Russell.
I put him up earlier, and he got smashed.
Did you see that one play?
Rushing him.
Wow. Yeah, he did get smashed, but tough guy. Again, a tough guy. And it was just one of those things where they made the plays and the tough elements. It was impressive, but an enjoyable game. I love the fact that it started snowing. It was actually I'll be honest, it's probably one of my favorite games I've watched this year. I actually really enjoyed it.
Oh, of course.
I liked it.
The football, same thing.
Props to you, Brad. Michigan with a nice signing yesterday, a commitment.
Number one, baby.
Number one quarterback. You got Underwood, the quarterback.
Well, they needed that.
He decommitted.
Yes.
And he went to Michigan.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
Brad
something
NIL
that
money.
if you
Brad
different. No, but you know what? I got to tell you something. It's funny. A friend of mine's like, oh my, he's a Michigan guy. He's like, this is disgusting. We had to pay this guy to come here. I'm like, dude, it's like you're living in the world. Okay, amateurs don't play in the Olympics anymore. Wake up. It's a different world.
I don't want to hear it.
By the way, these guys got money from 1982.
I don't want to hear anything about it. Those kids deserve it. They deserve it.
100%.
Look at what the college football playoff will generate in the billions.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
It's not even an opinion.
Billions.
It's not even an opinion. You're factually right. I can't even listen to anyone who said anything other than that. They deserve it and then some.
Yeah.
Shut up. Exactly. Ridiculous.
All right. It's so much fun, man. It's great football weekend, man. Great football weekend. We were talking the Indiana, Ohio State, and all day tomorrow, and then Sunday, Niners, Packers, Eagles, Rams Sunday night. We'll save the Eagles game for last. What are you spying Saturday? College football.
Well, since it's interesting. The Indiana game went to 13.5, now down to 10/10.5. So again, as I said, this is like a truth serum test. Is Indiana, are they for real? Are they not? I think they are. It's not even so much I think that they're good. I just believe, Anthony, firmly, strongly, whatever adjective you want to use, that we've seen a year in college football that we haven't seen in 20 years. I don't even know how many, maybe longer. I don't know. Where there is not a team that sticks out. Like last year's Michigan was a great team. Georgia for many years was a great team. LSU with Burrow was a great team. Alabama, too many years to count, was a great team. There's not a team that I think is that good. And again, if there's ever a year for everyone watching, Anthony, I know you said Notre Dame, I think last week. If anyone ever wanted to take a shot on a team saying, you know what, let me take a chance, because no one was beating some of these Alabama and Georgia teams ever. And plus, there's only 4 teams to make it. This is a year to take a shot because I think all these teams are close, Anthony. I really do. I don't think Ohio State is necessarily going to blow this Indiana team. And I know you need to see it. I know you need to see them prove it. But I think all these teams are really close.
I agree. Listen, I'm with you. I'm rooting Hoosiers. I'm rooting.
Yeah,
Hoosiers,
well, yeah.
I mean,
I look at. We talked about. I like Ole Miss against Florida.
How about? So we're doing Cousins Corner, and I'm going through the college, and right off the bat, I see
my game.
I see Ole Miss, and I go, I love Ole Miss, Florida. I go, I love Ole Miss in this game. I go, I got a game for you, Ole Miss, and then he goes, that's my number one game. We do that a lot.
No, but it is. Yeah, I mean, it is my number one game. And right now I'm on the Park site. You could lay 10.5, best number in the world right now, because it's as high as 12 in some other places. So if you like this game, Parks is the best base to bet it at in the world right now. Again, I really think, Anthony, again, I think I just have I can't say. I actually weirdly think that Ole Miss may be the team that's going to be the hardest team to beat. I think all these teams are close. Let me make again. But I like their offense. I like their defense.
Jackson.
Now again, they had the bugaboo. They had the bugaboo of not winning the big game, right? Kind of like James Franklin.
Yeah.
And they got over it. So I kind of think now that they got that, and they got over it easily. They won in fashion. I think they're good. I think they're good. And I Florida to me is okay. I know
they beat that fraud LSU squad and Brian Kelly.
Well, you're right.
You're right. They're a fugazi, that LSU team.
They were fugazi. Look, you're right. You're right. And I think that was like their
Super
big
Bowl
win, so to speak. I just think, again, I think there's a big class difference between these two teams. And I think that they're going to take them to class.
Ole Miss is where I'm looking.
Send it in. What else you got?
Well, NFL, Anthony, I like quite a few games. I really, really do. The Eagles game. I think I like the under. I like the under. I love what the Eagles defense has been these past, what do you want to call it? The total right now sitting at 49.5. I think the Eagles defense look great recently, and I still don't fully trust the Eagles offense, quite frankly. To me, that is despite having name after name after name, but Saquon's been incredible, but Jalen Hurts to me has been okay. But I still don't fully trust their offense. I think this game is played more low to mid 40s, Anthony. I'm hearing, Anthony, just as an FYI,
Devontae,
that Brock Purdy, I have a feeling he's not going to play. I made a large bet on Green Bay. Now, I don't have any definitive on that for everyone watching. I don't know this for sure. Let me say that. But I'm getting my hunches and what I'm hearing. I think there's at least a 50% chance he does not play, which is if they have to go to Brandon Allen, that line's going to obviously shoot up to closer to 7 laying versus the 3 now. The 2.5s, unfortunately, are gone. But, I do think that Green Bay will win that game. You talked about the Minnesota-Denver game, guys. I just think Minnesota's better. And again, they're laying 6 last week. Green Bay's laying 6.
Chicago.
Now this line's 3.5. I think Minnesota's better than Green Bay.
Yeah.
I think they're better.
I love Minnesota Sunday because I think Minnesota's defense just will destroy Caleb. Like they're going to put him in fits.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And another game I'll give you, Anthony, from an injury perspective, Denver is coming in fully healthy. Raiders have a lot of injuries, not cheap, but Denver's a team, Anthony. You look at
and they're not
you get in your best line, the coaches league. You give. They are now Denver to me now. They're a dangerous team. To me, the Raiders are garbage, quit, whatever you want to say. I would be surprised if that's not a double digit, kicking.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely going to be, even though it's 6 points on the road, I get it, but I think it's very merited, Anthony. And I think that they win this game by margin.
Agreed. I agree. Anything that
And I think the Colts keep the Lions game close.
Yeah, I can see that. That's the spot. That's the spot in
The spot game.
Non-conference. I could see that.
No action in the Paradise Jam games today down St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
No, man. Who do I? But let me ask you a question. Who do you have?
I'm going McNeese -10 against Illinois State. McNeese coming off they had a couple tight games against Alabama, San Diego State. They whooped up on the College of Biblical Studies by like 54. So I think they're coming in hot.
McNeese.
Yeah, McNeese -10.
If I ever name a college, it'd be the College of VG's handicapping games. Like I just love these games you pick, man. They're the best.
Yeah,
but they win. I got to give you your
some
due.
good defense.
You got to dive into college hoop.
Well, it's funny. Well, there've been some good. Look, Alabama. I watched Alabama, Illinois the other night. That was a pretty good game. Alabama's a team I do think is good. Look, college basketball this year. I told you anything. I actually think this year there's a lot of good teams. I think college basketball is in a really good spot. I think there's like
Kansas coming up Tuesday.
Yeah, well, that's a great one. Kansas is a team I think is again really, really good. First of all, how long has Hunter Dickinson been in college? Since like 1943. How is he still playing? In Michigan, I was like, when's he done?
Quarterbacks that have been around forever.
He's like a ninth year senior. I'm like,
you're like
how's this
28 years old.
He's older than my grandmother.
Yeah.
We got Baylor, Tennessee tonight too, like 9:30, I think.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a pretty good one. Baylor laid a horrible egg that first game, but they played better as of late. They just won a double overtime game.
The Johnnies are good this year.
I think that'll be a good game.
They are.
Your boy Anthony. Before I let you go, Dalton Connect.
Here we go.
Last night.
I told him.
He needs a Connect jersey.
I told him. I said,
I'm going to buy him a Connect 4 shirt.
Listen, he's not coming out of that starting lineup, and he spaces the floor with LeBron and AD. Lakers are nasty, dude. Lakers are good.
He's a pro. That was a great pick. But it's funny. The two best picks, in fairness, Anthony, have been those two picks back to back. Right?
Yeah, McCain and McCain.
Yeah, they've been the two best.
Anything you got tonight? Association.
Association. What did I have for you tonight? I did have one thing. Let me bring it up. Oh, you know what? Hometown team, Anthony. Listen, what do the Sixers need to do tonight? They need to win a game. I mean, listen. This would be like me. I can't even. No, Paul George. Maybe this is me just being amateur psychologist, being amateur. I think Tyrese Maxey is going to have to play more minutes tonight. I bet over 15.5 points. I close my eyes. I'm like, I think he's going to play closer to the 30 minutes. I'm not saying it's like 40, but I think he's going to play. He played
he got his feet wet. He didn't shoot the ball well.
Something like that.
I could see him play. Yeah. And they were going to need his
He averages 27. They made it 15.5. I just think he's going to play more minutes. And if he gets any kind of minutes, he'll obviously crush that number. It's not even, obviously. So if he gets the minutes, I'm thinking, I feel like he's the kind of guy who can get it in the first half. I think that number is too low. And again, maybe I'm wrong and he just
they got
minutes.
Beat
I'm all right. I beg
with PP George and without him.
And I got to tell you, are you watching the Sixers tonight, you guys? Or you just you can't even do it?
I will not.
Out.
I'll probably watch.
Yeah. I'm going to a concert tonight.
Out.
Oh, who you seeing?
I wanted to see Gladiator tonight, except my wife got tickets.
I can't wait. Oh,
I'm like,
wait, how the reviews been? Wait, Anthony, how have the reviews been? I'm going to see it. Have they been good?
I don't care. I mean,
the reviews.
I don't care.
It's not like it's an art house pick, right? Like,
to me, it is.
Well, no, I'm saying I'm
like my favorite movie.
It's fun. I love the whole thing. I'm in. So I don't read reviews from these people.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to see it. Like, I was so excited. I didn't even know it was coming out until like a week ago, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I have a note to actually watch it. Yes,
Denzel said it's the best. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah. My brother.
All right, brother.
Great. Have a great weekend. Good luck with the future in-laws.
You're a good man. I'll speak to you guys soon.
Thanks, buddy. There he is, the brain. The brain. All right, lots to get to. Mikey G, our South Philadelphia's own NFL Network, the preeminent insider, will join us coming up. But first, let's talk a little bit about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino All right, can we get the screen up too? All right, let's go. We are back. Sorry, we had a little glitch. Every once in a while you get a glitch. So did we know about did they hear us about
They didn't hear your read. No.
They
didn't
didn't hear us about talking about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app? Well, look, we just told you, circle Ole Miss, circle Minnesota, Green Bay, and then the Birds. All right, anything you want is right there on the casino app. Check it out. And there's always a way to win with the casino. The hot online slots like Breaking Bad, like Peaky Blinders, Rocky. You can get the 3 buckuses. You get a big payout. I don't know.
They are on there.
They are. Buckus on there?
That's the dog, right?
Yeah.
The dog's on there.
Buckus on. You got to check it out. It's a blast. There's always a way to win. VG's doing the Baccarat. DeWally's betting McNeese State. So check it out. The Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. In fact, new customers, you get up to $1,000 casino bonus back. If you're down the first 24 hours, you got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. And let's talk about, yes, our friends at Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. Look, next week begins a really romantic time. All right, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, big momentous holidays that we celebrate. It's perfect time to get engaged. I got your guy. His name is Yaron. He owns Golden Nugget Jewelers, 8th and Chestnut, in the heart of Jewelers Row, Center City. He'll give you a whole dissertation, a whole education on the diamond, cut, clarity, carat. He'll give you the 3 C's and kind of give you the whole thing. And work within your budget, most importantly, so you feel great. And it's up to you when you pop the question. And by the way, jewelry doesn't end with the engagement ring. Birthdays, holidays, you name it, anniversaries, the occasions for jewelry, always there. You're going to need your own. GoldenNuggetJewelers.com. Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. All right, this portion of the program is brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY to see the credit union difference. Now, we love him. South Philadelphia's own, the #1 insider in when it comes to NFL news. Top of my list, the great Mike Garafolo. Mikey G.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
What's up, boys?
Hey, I spent the first 25 minutes of the show just gushing over last night and how great the NFL is. Like, I know you work for NFL Network, and it's not pandering to say it's the greatest. Like,
No.
There's nothing better than Steelers, Browns in the snow. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, Pete Prisco is one of my all-time favorite wet blankets, and everybody's like, "This is so great!" And Prisco was down there in Florida, covered the Jacksonville's been covering the NFL forever, and he's just a miserable, like we like to say. And the quality of the game goes down, or whatever. Snow football stinks, or something. I got to get him today. I got to get after him.
That's just like a hot take BS. I'm sorry. It's hot. It's great. All right. It's tough. It's hard. It's physical. Did you see the hits that Russ took? Right?
Yeah.
You got Jameis. I mean, come on. Pete Prisco. I can't stand him. All right? I know from back in the day. All right?
Yeah.
He's not even a good writer. All right?
Oh,
you stink.
come on.
You stink.
No.
You stink, Pete.
Now you're going too far. I love Pete. But I love
Pete.
Touch the nerve, Mike.
Pete. Because it's so contrived. I know. Everybody likes snow, so I'm going to go different and say it stinks. Hey, Pete.
Can we add him here? Can we bring him in?
Adam, let him come up to Philadelphia.
Throw snowballs at him.
Get the hell out of here. Here's what I don't like, okay? Contrived. All right? I don't like it. It's why I hate the NBA Cup. All right? The NBA Cup stinks. It's bogus. It's let me make ridiculous, obnoxious-looking basketball courts and then act like I'll get celebrities. I know.
Yeah.
Let's go. We're going to get celebrities to tell you how important the NBA Cup is. Even though they play the same freaking teams, it doesn't mean anything. There's no playoff. It's stupid. You know what's not? Football. You know what's great? Football.
Football in the snow. This has been Fraudulent Fridays with the Cuz.
Football's the best, Mike. It's the greatest.
Let's calm him down.
Right.
Andrew, calm him down with Mike's tweet of the outside of
There
the
you go.
stadium with the snow.
Before Thanksgiving.
That's off the shores of Lake Erie.
Look at that.
It's the best.
I give Prime all the credit in the world for the visuals last night. I thought they did a great job. This is also we're going to see what NFL Films can provide for you, because this is going to be the in-season Hard Knocks is the AFC North, so you're going to see plenty in and around this game, and you know what NFL Films is capable of doing. So I the visuals were fantastic. My stream only buffered for like, I don't know, about a minute. I don't know if it was just me. Nobody else seemed to be complaining. Maybe it was just my internet, which, watching the fight last week, can't believe I stayed up for that thing. And I think I jinxed Amazon, or maybe I jinxed myself, because I was like, I never had a problem streaming. And one of the peak times, it was the Jameis throw down the field to, what's his name? What's his name? The receiver that caught the ball. White something. It was White something and a whiteout. That's the I forget his name.
Yeah.
I gotta look.
Wait.
Huh?
Who? Now you got me thinking about. There's Elijah Moore. There's
Whitehart, right? That's his name, Whitehart.
Yeah, that's
Whitehart.
That's when it started.
Yeah. Huh?
That's
No,
when
for
you-
me, that's when I lost it a little bit.
I didn't get any.
I was getting so excited. There it is, Blake Whitehart. That's his name, Blake. Whitehart.
I don't remember
Whitehart
the
and a
moment.
whiteout.
So here's my thing. I kind of want to dive into this, but you're right. I also loved what Amazon did with the virtual yard markers, which I thought were really good. It just helped with the whole viewing of it. The whole production was absolutely fabulous. It just was. There is something just special about the way football is consumed in different parts of the country. It's what makes it so special, right? Like Sunday night, we're going to be in beautiful, pristine Southern California, no humidity, 68 degrees at kickoff or 72 degrees at kickoff. And it'll just be this lovely, beautiful grass field. And, it's great, right? And then you have the AFC North, and then you got, the Vikings in a dome, and now they're going to be in Chicago at Soldier Field. It's awesome. It's just the way I just love the sport, man. I gush over it.
Yeah, and I think I'll speak for myself, but what registers with me when you talk about this and you say, well, so because people were bitching about like, oh, the Cleveland, they need to have all these stadiums, they need to have a dome. Somebody was complaining about that. I think it was one of our guys.
Why do people complain about something that's good?
Because it was
just Prisco guy. He's got everyone complaining.
I think it may have been Manti Te'o this morning. It was somebody on Good Morning Football, and they were like, they should have had. We need to have a dome because we can't have whatever. But it's life, right? Like some days are harder than others. Some days are pristine, and you got to deal with both.
The variety is what makes
you got to learn how to thrive in both.
It is a euphemism of for life. Football, right? Gaining yards, physicality, arduous, like. Come on, man. It's beautiful. The different aspects that you deal with.
You get knocked down, you get back up. And you get right back at it. You line up again.
The great analogy
there are endless
of life.
There are endless metaphors for what football players deal with that everybody deals with. I think that is, and you see that in a lot of sports.
You know what's funny? I told Massimo this, right? Nothing against flag football, right? But Massimo plays flag football too, right? Like he plays real football and he plays flag, right? So he has.
Oh man,
he's like
fired up today,
Daddy. We got flag practice. I go, dude, you got real practice, all right? Like afterwards, I need you ready for real practice. And he's like, well, I want to. I said, listen to me. You see all these kids playing flag. There's a zillion of them. All right, you go to these total turf, and there's a million of these kids playing flag football. I go, you're out there starting in July when it's freaking hot. You're out there when it's cold. You're hitting. You're out there 5 days a week practicing real football, Oklahoma drills, run until you drop. It's not fun. All these other kids playing 7-on-7, playing flag. Stop. What you do is real. Like you have, it's arduous, and there's adversity, and it's physical. That's something that's accomplishment. While the other kids are doing flag for an hour and then going to play video games.
Just watching
Mike Fatherly face. Fridays with the cuz.
I'm sorry.
Mike's face when you're ranting is hysterical. It's like, what did I sign up for tonight?
I'm sorry, Mike. I'm out of control today. I don't know why.
This is kind of what it looked like 20 years ago when I was behind the glass and taking calls, and he was going off, and I was just watching from the other side and soaking it all in. That's what it looked like.
I love him. I couldn't wait to see him in the morning. Like every day, like we were like, we would have our coffee, hang out. Like it was the greatest.
Get beat up a little bit,
I hit him in the arm all day, the whole
I got a permanent contusion on my arm.
Tackle him.
Tackle.
What do you think Sunday night?
No flag, tackle.
Listen, it's good. I'm not saying flags. I'm just talking about, like, you can't compare real football and what you go through. What do you think Sunday night?
What do I think? I think the weather's going to be fantastic. I love how they call that an open air stadium. It's not an open air stadium. You been there yet? By the way,
yes.
You been to SoFi?
Yes. Yeah.
It's not open air. Matter of fact, for the Super Bowl that day, it was hot because of the dome keeping the heat in that day. There were heat warnings, which was kind of weird. Like, just make it a dome or don't. Like, pick a. I
agree.
Sure. What do I think? I think you're going to get the Rams' best punch on this one. I do.
Yeah.
And I like the matchup of this receiving core against this young secondary. And you're going to have to trust your guys, which they have been doing, to match up with these guys, the Pukas, the Cooper Cups, the
Cooper v. Cooper, Mike.
Cooper v. Cooper. Oh, my God. Exciting whites all over the place.
Yeah. It's going to be a great matchup. Middle of the field.
It's going to be a great matchup. And McVay's had the Fangio guys on his staff before. So, he's got a sense for, and I've always heard that, like, you're getting either the Kirkland brand or you're getting the real Fangio brand. I get that part of it. But he understands the concepts and he understands what gave them trouble in the past. So it's a good chess match that's going to play out on Sunday night. I'm excited for this one.
What do you hear about Devontae?
It's not, I'm waiting to see what time are they on the field this morning. 2 days, no hamstring. Seems like it's been bugging him for a while here. You start to worry about this one when he's not on the field for 2 days. Don't think they're out there yet this morning.
They're not.
So we'll see. I think he's got an uphill fight here to get right today and get on the field. We'll see.
What do you hear about Purdy? Because
that was a weird day yesterday. Because early in the week, the people that were expressing optimism to me, all of a sudden yesterday was kind of like, well, yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow, like that kind of thing. So it's starting to get a little weird there. So I think today's a big day for him. If he doesn't play, I wouldn't be shocked at this point. Now he earlier a couple years ago, or maybe it was last year, he had a rib injury, didn't practice all week, maybe even been a short week if I recall correctly, and then did play. So I'd imagine he's not going to get ruled out today. Like, they'll hold out hope for him at the very least. So we'll see. But it's yesterday things started to sound a little bit weird on that one.
Curious, when you look at the NFC and size them up, right? Like, obviously it's the Lions, and then the Eagles, I think, are clearly number 2. How do you rank Niners, Packers, Vikings? Because that would be the next tier.
Yeah. And at some point, we got to put the Cardinals in there. Like, at some point, we got to figure out. Yeah, I think they're playing. I think they're buying in. They're definitely buying in. Gannon started off with a couple of clips that were real goofy to people, and I saw comparisons to Michael Scott and Kendall Roy, like that he was this goofy, blubbering type of guy. No, he's got them bought in there, and they're playing hard, and they got some real
Big
talent.
tests.
Paris Johnson.
They'll show me a lot Sunday because you're in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Like that to me is a litmus test for them.
And Seattle's been a weird team. They've won the games that we haven't expected them to win. Well, other than the first 3, which they did take care of what they needed to take care of. Then they go to Atlanta, they win. They come back home, they lose bad to Buffalo, never really in that game. They beat the Niners in their place, which guess what? By the way, you asked me about the Niners. Uncharacteristic, like Arizona at home, Seattle at home, dropping these 2 games. They got nobody to blame but themselves on this
No.
one.
Their
but Arizona
doesn't look. It doesn't. It
No.
looks different. It's not. It doesn't have the teeth that it had.
Yeah, with blame Steve Wilkes again. Go ahead. Kittle talking about the offense needs to step up was a weird thing this week. I think he was trying to be a leader and get everybody to kind of understand everybody's got to raise their game. You got to make that. You can't let them go down the field and score the way they did. I understand Bosa's on the sideline. He doesn't sound like he's got a shot this week because he's got injuries on both sides now, oblique and hip on the other side. So that's not great. Look, no excuses. This team's been injured for years, and they've won games on the road without key players. If you're not with your quarterback, it's a different story. I understand that. But I go back to the Cardinals, and you talk about the litmus test. Seattle, we talk about adversity and overcoming things. They have had a terrible week at their facility. No power, no hot showers, no saunas, none of that stuff. Yeah. Geno Smith, his quote yesterday was, you gotta be a man, take a cold shower. You gotta man up. I think that's what you gotta man up. So they've had a weird week. It's been a weird week in the NFL, and which makes me think it's gonna be a wild Sunday this week.
Yeah, it is. It feels that way. AFC, Mikey. It's so interesting. That was an epic game. Buffalo, Kansas City. Buffalo, Kansas City. Baltimore goes down. The Broncos and Peyton. The Chargers and Harbaugh. We get the Harbaugh Bowl coming up.
It's stacked. It's loaded.
It's like I love that conference because I love those coaches. Right. You have the Harbaughs, Andy, McDermott, Tomlin. They're that's fun. And Peyton, that's pretty damn good.
When we get to the playoffs, I think we're gonna have a really good idea of who's coming out of the NFC. It may be 2 teams. It may be one that you're looking at the Lions, depending on how the Eagles fit. I think the Eagles will hang in there, and they'll be a good. If I get Eagles Lions for my NFC Championship game in Detroit, I'm good with that. That'll be a great matchup. In the AFC, we could probably make a case for 5 or 6 teams. Like we really could, which is going to make it that much more exciting, that much more fun. And I think the Bills handled things the right way this last week after they beat the Chiefs. Wasn't a litmus test for them. Wasn't a what did it prove? Because you lost them in the playoffs multiple times.
Right.
Not even like, well, now we can get home field because you lost to them at home as well.
Right.
Like that doesn't even help you. And I thought that they did a good job of just keeping themselves level and said, well, we want another game. You'd love to have home field. That'd be great. You're working your way towards that. You're working your way towards the playoffs. I thought they did a good job of staying level. I think it's been addition by subtraction with Stephon Diggs. I really do. And we've heard that a lot of times with teams. I remember the Giants traded Odell. Yeah. And they were like, well, we're going to be a better offense without him because we don't have to force the ball. Ridiculous, right? Like he made them a much better offense. We did hear similar things, not too much. I thought Buffalo did a good job of downplaying that part of it. But him not being there has changed the mentality of that offense, I think, for the better.
You know what Kansas City's Worthy has to grow up a little bit. Like he's got to get buttoned up. Like he's had a couple plays and he's
2 feet down. He's had 2. He's had a couple of plays where he's had just 1 foot down and hasn't tapped the second one. Yeah,
and I know that's driving Andy nuts because when you get Hopkins, now you free up Worthy for the big play, and Andy's a master at dialing up something that's going to work, and it's up to them to execute it, and that's where he's got to get his head right.
Yeah, he's got all the physical tools. They've got speed, they've got size. They've got guys that can work the middle. They got guys on the outside. They've got a power running game. They've got a great offensive line. They've got this notion of, they're not that good of a team. They're still fine tuning this offense, which you can do when you win games the way that they have, and when you know that you can go on the road and win like you did last year in the playoffs if you had to. It's the old Patriots. The first quarter of the season was always about figuring out who you are and what you do well. I'm not saying that the Chiefs are approaching that halfway through the season, but I still think that there's an extra gear for this offense that is going to be turned up at some point.
Do you how about the Harbaugh when he's done with the Chargers? Like I love those two.
I don't know why it surprised anybody.
No, it doesn't.
I'm not saying it surprised you. I'm just
right. Like he's such a good. I just love seeing it because Herbert's a completely different quarterback. Like all the tools that he has that we knew he had. Harbaugh loving on him. Harbaugh teaching him. Like you saw it Sunday night, man. That was just or Monday night, whatever it was just great football.
Yeah, I didn't know how the marriage was going to work between Harbaugh and Herbert, and I think 4 years from now it might look a different way. I mean, we know how Jim wears out his welcome everywhere he's been. So far, everything's been great, and you'd expect that in the first year. But I think, Justin is so – he's got a bit of a personality. I really don't know him that well, but I know from talking to people around him, the way that he kind of behaves, he's very serious. He's very like when he loses a game, you can't get a hold of him. He goes into a hole. I think Harbaugh being a little bit off up mentally is a good balance between the two of them because Justin's so straight laced, it seems at times. So I think that's helped him. And he's got he's always had the right mindset for playing quarterback and teaching these guys. To me in the NFL, coaching is not so much scheme. That's obviously a part of it, but it's the finer details. That's what made Belichick so good. I mean, Brady also made Belichick good, but
no, you're spot on.
His teams were so polished in the finer details. That's what leads to winning football. That's the difference when the talent is so equal.
Yeah, no, you're spot on.
Hey, Mike, we've had some fun here with you with Daniel Jones. But it feels like what they're doing to him is, I don't know, it seems kind of disrespectful running scout team as a safety at this point. Why are they just not releasing him?
Well, I think they're going to send him home at some point. They've offered that. They've had discussions about that, I should say. But it's a long time to be away from a team. And I give the kid credit. He came out, he read a prepared statement. He got torched on ESPN for no reason. I don't know if you saw this, like Giants VP of communications, Pat Hanlon, he put a post out on X, and then people saw what happened on SportsCenter about like ripping him for his prepared statement. He read a prepared statement and then he took questions. I give the kid all the credit in the world for doing that. And I heard some people say, well, maybe it's a little selfish. No, it's not. You've been the franchise quarterback of that team. You give a chance. You get a chance to say goodbye to the fan base, answer questions. He did that yesterday. I thought he was a stand-up guy for doing what he did. I don't think he's a great quarterback. I think he's and you're going to see this, a spot starter backup type guy that you'd be happy to have. But he's been all class all the way since he's been with the Giants. So good for him for how he handled it yesterday. But with regard to this situation, it's not personal, it's business type of thing with the Giants. And they did give him plenty of chances, man. They gave him the entire half of the season. They were out of this a couple of weeks ago. They could have pulled the plug even sooner. And this is not even a regime that drafted him. A lot of times you get a new regime that comes in, they can't wait to get their own quarterback. They can't wait to get rid of a guy. This regime was incredibly patient with Daniel Jones. So, I give them the credit for their patience, I guess. I feel like they probably should have forced something a little harder this offseason with the draft, because now you're approaching the draft and the returns on these quarterbacks are not that great. Okay. And this is not a class where you're going to see 3 quarterbacks go in the first 5 picks or whatever. Last year's class was where it was at. And DeVito might do what he did last year, win him a couple of games to push him further back in the draft order. That's only going to hurt them even more.
Yeah, it's bizarre though. And I
felt bad for the kid yesterday. He was reading his
statement.
I
know. And it's just bizarre how you now pull the plug. Like everybody saw it.
Yeah.
Like you waited too long.
If he gets hurt, if he tears his ACL again, they're on the hook for $23 million next year. Everybody understands it. And he had a chance. He was asked about this yesterday. You can always renegotiate that. Russell Wilson had a full guarantee. The Broncos asked him about changing that last year, to which I'm glad that, please. as when these players get cut with years left on their deal, non-guaranteed, they ask you to take back some fully guaranteed money, go scratch.
Right.
All right. Now, in this case, it was an injury only guarantee. It wasn't a full guarantee. So you're not necessarily buying yourself next year. But his camp was adamant in saying, no, we negotiated that. We're not giving it back. He could have said, all right, well, I'll waive that so I can continue to be the starter here. They decided not to do that, not to take that route.
It's interesting. Mikey, what do you got cooking this weekend?
I'll be on Sunday. I'll be talking Giants from home. We're not doing that game, but I'll be talking Giants on NFL Game Day morning on Sunday morning on NFL Network, so you can catch us there. I don't think I'm anywhere. I got a couple Eagles games coming up. I think I got the game in Washington. I got the game, the Steelers game.
Nice.
So yeah, the Battle of Pennsylvania. That should be a fun one.
That's gonna be a great one, man. That's awesome. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. We get to see you at home. We love you, buddy. You're the best. Thanks for dealing with my craziness.
You mean just today? Happy Thanksgiving, cuz.
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy. Kiss the girl. Kiss the girls. Oh, look at that.
They love you today, cuz Fred Place, I think his name is, on Twitter, says Anthony is on fire today. Media gold.
No, you know, you can't. How could you rip snow? Snow football.
I'm right there with you.
I mean, seriously. I mean,
forgot to ask Mikey. I wanted to get his pick for the Cup, NBA Cup.
I just don't like.
You don't care who the best team in the NBA in November is.
It's so stupid. I hate the fact it's like, let's get celebrities to tell the stupid masses how great and important the cup is.
And let's be honest, there's one cup. That's it.
Stanley.
Yeah,
Mr. Lord
using the NBA
Stanley
cup.
is the only cup. Is that freaking soccer? No disrespect, JP.
They have cups. I guess there's a World Cup or something.
Let's talk about our friends. And then I want to talk to Dr. Friedman from Rothman. Yes. All right. Let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. All right. So now you know. You got some juicy plays. All right. McNeese State at 3 o'clock. You got Saturday. I do like Indiana, but Ole Miss is a good one. I also like the Huskers against Wisconsin on Saturday as well. And then Sunday, there you go. Full litany. Vikings early, Packers, and then the big one. Sunday night, Birds, Rams. Birds are favorite. I mean, listen, it's going to be fun. Cooper v. Cooper. SGPs. All right? You're going to love it. It's all there for you on the Bet Parks online casino app. So check it out, right? You got, there's always a way to win. So you can make your downtime fun time, play the slots, the Rocky slots, Peaky Blinders, Breaking Bad. You got a bunch of Walter Whites, and you get a jackpot. Like, a lot of fun, right? Baccarat for him, live dealer blackjack. It's all there. And in fact, new customers, if you're down the first 24 hours, you get up to $1,000 casino bonus back. You got to be betparks.com is all the details. You have to be 21. You have to be in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, Ohio, Michigan. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, all my balding friends out there, hair thinning out. Don't wait till you get like me. You see, I'm too far gone at this point. You don't want to be like that. So if you're heading in my direction, check out our friends over at Glad Hair Restoration by Morgenstern Medical. Established by the late, great Dr. Paul Glatt, it's now part of the Morgenstern Center under the direction of the renowned plastic surgeon, Dr. Ken Morgenstern. He's a nationally recognized specialist and one of the few surgeons in the country trained in oculofacial plastic surgery. Doctors Glatt and Morgenstern, they were friends, they were colleagues, they worked on some research papers and projects together, they worked in the operating room together. And now it's all one team. And what makes Glad Hair Restoration by Morgenstern Medical better? Well, same pillars approach to care. You got the same expert team and the same unmatched Glatt system. Each member of this exceptionally trained team brings over 30-plus years of experience. And hair restoration is all they do. They don't mess around with any other surgeries. Glad Hair can help during all stages of hair loss with leading-edge treatments for prevention and restoration, including laser light therapy and non-invasive TED treatments. Caring patient advocates work with you from your first phone call to your last follow-up appointment. Glad hair isn't just about restoration, it's about innovation. Their breakthrough treatments really do dramatically change lives. Change your hair, change your life. Bald is now optional. If you want to improve how you look and how you feel about yourself, Glad Hair has the right treatment for you. Regain your confidence. Visit GladHairs, MCTR.com or call 610-980-4000 to get started.
Thank you, VG. Time now for the Friday injury report brought to us by the great Rothman. That's it. Our Rothman Orthopedics, rothmanortho.com/PHLY. And joining us to talk a little bit of a knee issue is my man, Dr. Friedman. Doc, good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Anthony. How are you?
I'm great. Did you, any chance, watch the football game last night?
What? Just a little bit of it.
No.
Yes.
You, as a brilliant man, Princeton, University of Pennsylvania, I mean, you know, the top schools, a brilliant man. Can you find anything wrong with football in the snow? Isn't it just beautiful?
It is. It's a good thing. Absolutely.
That's right. See, the Doc knows.
Smart man.
I can't believe that there's people in the media that say that's a bad thing. I just don't understand it. It's all hot take and manufactured nonsense, Doc.
Our Snow Bowl is one of our greatest memories. We just honored LaShawn getting in the Hall of Fame for that.
I love it. I love that's a Birds man right there, Dr. Friedman.
Hey, I wondered, Doc, in the snow, are you less or more likely to get injured?
Oh, I think you're less likely because you can't, you can barely get traction, and these injuries that are caused by turf. Think about the fields that we worry about that have turf problems. So it's actually it's less likely because you can't get as much force, you can't get as much speed, and you can't get as much traction. So yeah, it's just fun.
Just fun.
Look at that. That's why you're the greatest, Doc. Our Friday injury report, obviously the headline is Paul George. He's going to miss a couple games. First, the hyperextended knee, which he's done before and he did the other night. Can you explain what that really is?
Yeah, well, when these athletes jump up and land, there are times when they just land awkwardly, and the knee bends backwards in a way that it's really not meant to do. So, that knee just kind of goes backwards like this, and the bones, when that happens, can bang together. And even in the absence of like a more significant injury, as those bones hit each other, they get bruised the same way that the soft tissue gets bruised, and then that causes some pretty significant pain.
Yeah, you don't think about it because the bone bruise from the hyperextension, it makes perfect sense that they're clashing, so the impact causes the bruise. What's usually like the recovery timetable for that?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the extent of the bruise that occurs and whether or not any other soft tissue around it gets injured. I mean, I know they're talking right now that hopefully Paul George is only going to miss a couple of games, but it can be hard to predict because, number one, when those bones hit each other, sometimes it bleeds into the knee, and that swelling causes pain, and that blood in the knee causes pain and takes some time to recover. And then also just the bones itself, like if they continue to hit each other as you go into extension, and he needs to do that to jump and land, it really causes discomfort as well. So, even though they're saying a couple games, you never know. It could end up being a week or two that it's still causing pain when he tries to play. Now, the good news is I don't think he'll get a more significant injury if he tries to play through it, but it still can be tough, and it can be tough to play at the level that you want to, getting on the NBA court.
So this is what is concerning, I need to ask you about it. This is now the second time he's done it in, a matter of a month. Like, is he more susceptible to doing that? Or is it just freak? Is it, long-term? Is there issues? Like, having done this twice now, what's the ramifications?
Yeah, I think it's unlikely that long-term it's an issue. However, in the short term, as we're talking about, these first several months of the season, yes, I think he is likely a little more susceptible. I mean, number one, some people, because they have a little bit of laxity, their knee can be more susceptible to begin with. And then you get some muscle imbalance that can cause it to occur more frequently. And he probably still had some slight muscle imbalance from his first injury in October that then let this happen. So I do think that they have to be a little careful that, is this going to be some nagging thing that potentially can reoccur through this earlier part of the season? If they can actually make the playoffs, I mean, I doubt it's going to be a problem then, but or long term. But yeah, we're going to have to watch how it does over the next few months.
Hey, I did just a personal question. What got you into sports medicine? Like, was it were you a fan of sports your whole life, and you wanted to make that your specialty?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I've always been both a fan of sports, as a former athlete growing up. It's just something I always wanted to do. I was always interested in, how, muscles worked and the body worked. And, my family loves that I have some essay that I wrote in 9th grade that said I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon specializing in sports medicine. So, I was one of those guys who got to live out his dreams. It's good.
That's awesome. That's a beautiful thing. Congratulations. I love hearing that. That's cool, man.
What else is cool? He's got Yoshi behind him from Super Mario. What's up with that, Doc?
Yeah, I had to find an office to sit in to do this. So it's all good.
We appreciate it.
Dr. Friedman, you're the man, buddy. We appreciate it very much. And go Birds, right?
Absolutely. Go Birds.
Dr. Friedman, Rothman. We love it. Our Friday injury report, RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY to make an appointment. All right, where's Danny at? Go get Danny. Danny, I need Danny. St. Joe's Prep, monster game coming up. Our athletic director, the AD.
Now he's back.
Look at Danny, he's back. Danny's a regular on the show.
Yeah.
We love him.
He's got a South Philly Whites on.
We love Danny D. He's the greatest, man. We freaking love him.
Guys.
We love it. What are you doing, buddy? We got a big game coming up.
Big one tonight. State quarterfinals.
Right in.
State quarterfinals. We got Parkland tonight. We're playing them in Percy. So a little bit of a ride. Playing them at Penridge High School, 7 p.m. So they're the District 11 champs. We're the District 12 champs. And the winners move on to the state semifinal where we'll play the District 1 champion to go to the state final.
This is awesome. All right, so match up tonight, then. Like, what do you?
Big time football. It's supposed to be cold, snow, football weather like last night. So it's going to be, they're saying 3-4 inches of snow. So it should be.
Really?
Yeah, in Percy, they're calling for some snow.
3 to 4 inches of snow.
Where is Percy? I got to look this up.
Yeah, where is it?
Percy.
Bucks County.
It's Penridge High
South
School.
Philly guys.
It's Upper Bucks.
Upper Bucks, yeah.
Near Sellersville.
Oh, really?
Near Sellersville.
Oh, so it's not that
near where I
far.
grew up.
I'm thinking like it's,
No, mileage isn't
Allentown,
far.
No.
So they try to meet in the middle. So Parkland's in the downtown area. So they try to find a middle ground. So it's like 35 miles from us, but like getting there with traffic's like an hour and 40 minutes. It's like one of those drives you got to take 309.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a real easy way to get there. So
Route, all that,
Yeah, it's not going to be fun. So the boys are going to have primos when they get out of school. For,
nice.
Oh, that's great. Did you got them? You got it all set?
Yeah. So my guy down in Fishtown, Timmy Milligan, he has a primos. He's going to get us to lunch at 1 o'clock. Boys are going to we'll have mass, do a little walkthrough, get on the bus. We're getting out of school at 1:30 and then head up there, try to get a little warm up in. And
oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
size up the squad. How, for those watching along at home.
Yeah, so we're rolling.
You're streaming now.
Yeah, so we're rolling now. I told you we were a little young. We had a good mix of young and old. We had some really big time, Division I commits, but our young guys are kind of hitting their stride now. Our quarterback's playing great. Our receivers, our secondary. We have this kid, Messiah Acre. He's a DB. He's an absolute stud. He's a sophomore. So they're kind of all coming to their own. So LaSalle was a huge one. We won 21-14 to win our PCL league. And then we played Imhotep for the first time. And so they've dominated the public league. They won the 5A state championship last year, but they moved up a classification. So we played them for the first time ever last Saturday for our city championship.
Yeah,
District 12. 42-0. Well, boys are locked in.
Wow.
And they got some D1 players usually on UTEP.
So
don't
they
they?
have a kid going to Penn State, a kid going to Ohio State.
Yeah.
So they got some guys.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. 42-0. What? I saw the score. I was like, damn. Like, how did it get?
We're hitting our stride, man. Our defense is locked in. We got this kid, D-end. He's a junior, local kid from Fishtown, actually, where I'm from. Alex Haskell, he's a beast. He just locks up the run. He's got all Big Ten offers, like Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State.
Like, this is awesome.
Yeah, we're
talking about the top of the top.
Yeah,
right here.
Yeah, so
brat.
Yeah, they're locked in. I think we kind of had some growing pains because like a young team. And
sure.
We're hitting our stride now. So I think like it's a perfect storm where the boys are locked in and we're moving in the right direction at the right time.
Are there any common opponents that you and Parkland play?
No, so
you
they
know anything about
them? Yeah, I mean they're a really talented team. They're really well coached. He's been there for a while. They're a perennial District 11 champion. In my years at the prep, this is my 5th year. We've played them twice already. So they've won 2 District 11 championships in the last couple of years. It's like them, Freedom, Emmaus, those schools up there in the Allentown area. But they're a perennial, really good team. They have a great defense. They won 17-3 their last game. So they kind of rely on trying to run the ball, control the clock, rely on their defense. Now, I think you got to get a little more creative with us. You know, we're letting up like 30 rushing yards a game with us. I told you about our linebackers.
Yeah, linebackers are beasts.
Yeah, Ohio. We got.
You want to talk about
Notre
filling
Dame,
gaps?
Yeah, Notre Dame, Penn State, and the other one's going to go wherever he wants. So it's like having those 3, you can't really run the ball. So I think
like that. Isn't that an amazing story? I mean, think about it, VG. 3 linebackers: Notre Dame, Penn State. And the other one is ridiculous.
He's a sophomore.
Yeah, he's going to go wherever he wants.
Yeah, stud.
It's
Kid Brandon Locke.
insane.
Stud. So, we're hitting the right stride. Another thing got released yesterday. We had 10 kids join the National Honor Society from football.
Oh,
so that's
wow.
something we're super proud
Oh,
about.
dude,
That's
I
awesome.
love that, man.
Yeah.
Scholar athletes, man.
That's what we do at St. Joe. So it's like we're really happy like to have Ken because that's just a national. You know, you can't you don't get picked by your school. It's a national society. So we had 10 football players get inducted into that this week. So super proud of those guys.
Dude, I have this conversation all the time. You can speak to this because I'm with these parents all the time. Right?
Yeah.
And I just promote football, playing football, because a lot of people, they still get skittish, and a lot of the moms, are still worried about it.
Sure.
And look, you get it. You have to be vigilant in case there's some injuries, but it does so much good for these kids because it teaches them a discipline, right?
For sure.
And you'll see me when it comes to schoolwork, right? Because they're locked into a schedule.
Yeah.
And like you having 10 kids, National Honor Society.
It's a credit to our program, but the way we go about it in the school, it's like they're student athletes, right? But the athletic part helps them with the structure. They're learning. Their discipline is at the next level because they have to work so hard on the football field.
And you got to study too.
You got to study.
Football's a mental game.
1,000%.
You have to know it.
Yep. And it helps. It translates, right? That's a translatable thing. It's like studying, repetition, right? All that hard work and the discipline, it translates to the classroom. And I think, we talked about this before, it sets them up for life because it gives you so many life skills playing these sports. And when you're playing football at a high level, all that goes into it. Like our kids, their days are long, man. Like they'll come in, they'll have study hall after school, then they'll go to practice, they'll come back and do team meetings. They'll have a team meal together, right? So they're together all day and they have to manage that time. But those disciplines and those traits they're learning now on the football field translates over to the classroom. And I'm super proud.
It does. And it was funny. I was having a conversation with my little one, and because flag season his season's over.
Yeah.
And now he started flag. He's like, well, I got flag practice, and I'm like, dude. And I said, flag's great, and it's everything, but what you just accomplished, playing real football, right? That began in July.
It's a grind.
Right? It is a grind. I'm like, and you're at you didn't miss practice once. There was a couple times like, no, you're the quarterback. You got to go to practice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right? And I'm like, that's an accomplishment. You have to understand that. Like, it's great. There's 1,000 kids playing flag football right now, like in your little town. But they didn't do what you just did.
Yeah. No, it's going to set him up. He's going to look back and be so happy that you pushed him. I mean, I always tell parents because kind of today's, it's evolving, right? Kids are a little different. Parents see a little different. You don't feel good, don't go or something like that. You need that little push because what's going to happen later when they get a job, right? And they don't want to show up to work. I'm like, well, I didn't have to go that day, right? But you pushing him in a productive way and showing him that, you know,
you're coming from a leadership standpoint. You're the quarterback. He's like, well, why do I have to? We had basketball right last week, and he's like, well, it's just a walkthrough. I said, just a walkthrough? No. That's not the right attitude.
Yeah.
The walkthrough's important. It's a big deal, and you as the quarterback have to be there. Basketball can wait.
Yeah, love it. That's awesome, and he's going to be so appreciative down the road for you with these little lessons.
And my big one, right? My big one played freshman, and at St. Augustine. Right, and so they're playing Bosco.
Oh wow!
Right,
yeah.
So they got a big one, and Anthony's like, well, I don't have to be at varsity practice because he played freshman, and I go, dude, yes, you do.
Yeah,
you have to be there. You got to be front and center. I don't know if they need you to do anything, scout team, whatever. Yeah. You got to be a body, and you got to be there, and you have to show up. The lesson is you show up in life.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trait that goes unnoticed. The ability to show up every day, and that's why I really, our kids, we pull from a good, 170 different grade schools.
Yes.
So like, it's a commitment to go to St. Joe's Prep, but the ability to show up is a huge trait that people go on. Look, I always talk about at our banquets. I'm like, I'm blown away by these kids' ability to show up every day because it's not easy. Right? You could, I don't feel good. Oh, it's an hour drive, or I got to stay. That trait will make you super successful down the line. And
damn right.
Yeah, I love it though.
Damn right. Now, who's left in PA?
So on the other side that we'll play, if we win, it's Friday. Most likely next Saturday we'll play the winner of North Penn and Downingtown West.
Wow, so 2 power. Yeah, that's awesome.
So
that's great.
On the other side of Pittsburgh, I know Pittsburgh Central Catholic's left. They're a power. I think maybe Aaron Donald might have went there. There's some guys. So I think they're the favorite out west, but I really don't pay attention to the West.
No, you
one
can't.
Game at a time. So I kind of know our bracket, but the West side, I know Pittsburgh Central Catholic's left. North Allegheny, they just beat North Allegheny, who's a really good team. We played them in the state championship last year. They're an area Pittsburgh school. So, we're just excited. We're moving along.
I love it.
Winter sports started last week, so we're juggling a lot.
How's your hoop squad?
Going to be great, man. I got to get you down to Plester. So our basketball is our league. We sell out the Plester every year. Like I've talked to college coaches like Jay Wright, Fran Duffy. They're like, we can't do this in the Big Five or any college game. And our high school Final Four sells out the Plester every year, days in advance.
Yeah.
So we're selling 9,000 tickets, and it's last year it led off SportsCenter. It was Roman versus Ryan.
Yeah.
A 3 with 8 seconds left to take the lead by Ryan. Roman comes down buzzer beater, and Scott Van Pelt had it to lead off the show, like the thing he saw today, the coolest thing he saw today, right? So we had 13 million views on Twitter 1 week later.
Wow.
From one basketball game. So, like, I'm actually in charge of basketball for the league. So it's kind of like my little baby now for the last 4 or 5 years. But we sold out. I have, like, last year, like, we had Eagles guys, like, DMing us because it was sold out. Hey, can we get in? Can we get a ticket? Like the day of the game because it was sold out. Like
That's great.
We had agents.
Fabulous.
We had agents reaching out to us, So like it's a truly special event. So that's in February.
Yeah.
It's
that event is. I've been there. It's
unbelievable.
It really is cool.
And like we get the requests are crazy. We get requests from like media all over the country, and we get the biggest coaches like, hey, can I get down there? And the Plester, like. The seat backs are gold, man.
Yes.
There's only a certain amount of hurdles. You're either on the bench or you get the seat back. And there's only, there's 9,000 seats, but only 300 seat backs.
Yeah.
So,
that's prime real estate, baby.
It's prime real estate. But no, so basketball is going to be really good. We got a chance. We got Aaron McKee's son.
Yeah.
He's a senior. He's going to Dayton. Elite scorer, just like his father. Very simple. 1 dribble pull-ups, gets to a spot. We got another senior, Jordan Ellerby. He's going down to Florida Gulf Coast, Dunk City. Local guy, Pat Chambers, is there.
Yeah. We love Pat.
Great guy. So he's down there. So he'll go there. We have another guard whose great uncle was Wilt Chamberlain, Olin Chamberlain.
Wow. What a story.
He's a great kid. He's got some Ivies.
How old is he?
He's a senior. So there are our big 3 senior guards. But then we have the McKee twins, who are freshmen. Aaron has 2 twins who are freshmen. They'll be in the mix. And then we have this kid, Mekhi Robertson, who's number 30 player in the country for the sophomore class. And he's elite.
What position?
He's like a combo guard, but he just does everything. A little bit of everything. Like long, rangy, plays defense. So we got a good mix. We don't really have a traditional big, so we're going to spread you out. But I'm really excited about that. Our league's great. The Catholic League basketball. I mean,
oh my God, Newman Goretti,
Newman, Roman, Judge is really good this year. Wood, and then we have like teams like Devon Prep. Like we have teams that finish 7th and 8th in our league that go on to win a state championship.
Nah, which
is crazy.
I know the Newman Goretti guys really well.
Oh yeah, Carl and them, they do a great job.
Carl's fantastic. He's a great coach.
I mean, yeah, he's one of the greatest high school coaches in the country. I mean, he just constantly pushes it out. So football's going on. This is always a kind of tricky time for athletics.
I know, man.
You got football going on, which is a good problem to have, right?
Yeah.
So the state championship would be December 7th, but basketball starts up, last week. So
yeah, I'm still in football mode.
You can't train a little too far.
I coach basketball. I coach 6th grade.
Yeah.
At St. Margaret's. So I'm like, all right, I got to get practice. I got to get my plan going.
Yeah.
For practice and everything. But I'm like in complete full. I love this time of the year football.
It's great. This is my favorite time because I love the winter sports like ice hockey.
Yeah.
I love, we have a really good swimming team.
You have a good hockey team too.
We have a really good hockey team. So we're loaded across the board, but I enjoy the mix, but it's also crazy hectic. Right?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit both. But
listen, best of luck, brother.
Yeah, how do we stream? How do we watch you stomp on these Parkland Trojans tonight?
So NFHS has it, and there's a SFBN stream, which is a local guy. Ari, he kind of goes and travels. He has a deal with these, so they'll stream it. Our kids at St. Joe's Prep do an audio broadcast. So
nice
audio. There'll be a lot of live tweeting going on.
You got to bring the kids over here,
and they'd love it.
All right, make sure we'll do a day where you bring the kids over. You're close.
Yeah, we're close.
All right, bring the kids over. We'll give them a whole PHLY tour, the whole thing.
They would love it. They're so dedicated. They travel all over the country with us to do these games. So like they go to football games. We have 2 kids going to Vegas for a basketball tour.
Oh, that's great.
So they do our games all year round. They're figuring out streaming. And we just got the technology so they can live stream a lot.
That's nice.
So yeah, but no, this is giving us this platform to talk about.
We love your family, D. Come on,
you're the best. I love it. Appreciate you guys.
Listen, we'll keep it going as the run continues.
Let's go, man. So
all right,
let's get past this one, and we'll
That's it. Good luck, brother.
I appreciate you.
Good
guys,
luck.
Man. Have a great day.
Yeah,
you too, buddy. There it is. By the way, on this Football Friday, which has been an absolute blast all morning, it is always Todd time. Mm-hmm. So, and don't forget, listen, join us, allphly.com and our YouTube channel, because if we go away from TV, you want to see us and see Todd, because Todd, nobody's better, by the way, when it comes to TV and movies than Todd.
No, there's not even anyone in his league.
So he gave me this show, Gangs of London, and I'm 2 episodes in. I watched the beginning of the 3rd episode, and I'm not going to give you a spoiler. It's ridiculous. This show's unbelievable. I'm savoring it. Like, Todd's burning through it, and he's like, dude, episode 6, 7, you're going to go nuts. I'm like, I'm savoring this thing. This is unbelievable. So there's so much stuff to do.
Got you hooked.
So let's go to our man, TV Todd.
Act like a man. You can't handle the truth.
It's time for TV time.
What is it, buddy? Go Flyers.
Hey, yeah, man. I'm excited for this weekend. Flyers on Saturday, Birds on Sunday night. This is great.
Bedard versus Michkov.
What's that?
Bedard versus
Yeah, I know.
Michkov.
Bedard Michkov. Are you kidding me? The matinee? That's a great game.
That's right.
You're coming down Black Friday.
I'm coming down on Black Friday, and I'm gonna come in studio to do TV Todd live in studio next week.
We love it. We absolutely love it. You're gonna be checking it. You're gonna be taking in Flyers that day. You're gonna have your angel. Congratulations, by the way, to your daughter, lax player. Right? I mean, that's a great accomplishment.
Yeah, it's been a crazy journey, as you know, Anthony. She was an ice hockey goalie from the time she was 4. And decides in her senior year, I'm getting a little tired of the travel and the craziness of ice hockey. I'm just going to stay home and play lacrosse. She had been playing with her high school team. Next thing you know, she was being recruited, and she decided to do that going forward.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's amazing. All right, so you told me about Gangs of London, and it's sensational and so good. But I'm slow playing it because I don't want to burn through it. I like to analyze the episode. I usually watch the episodes twice when I find a show I like. I'll do a back-to-back and just to absorb it all. This show's every bit of it. It's like you said, it's brutal.
It is by far the most brutal television I think I have ever seen. When you get into, like you just said, I'm burning through it, right? When you get into episode 5, 6, and 7, this is season 1. I'm telling you, I can't move from my chair. It gets brutal on levels you can't even imagine.
Dude, the opening of episode 3, and that's all I'm going to put, is something I've never seen before. Like I'm a big gangster, all that stuff, right? Like I've seen a myriad of ways for beatings and killings and all that stuff. That was unique.
Oh yeah, the bucket, right? The bucket. It's
yeah.
But there's a few cold openings coming up, Anthony, that are just I too sit back and go, I don't think I've quite seen this on television before. It is truly a brilliant show. I am not surprised that they're doing season 3, and I'm not surprised that people are going nuts over it on Netflix. It is truly, truly great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It bodes well for that kind of genre, which I like.
Absolutely.
All right, so here's the deal. We have Thanksgiving coming up. So we're going to tackle Thanksgiving movies. And then next week, how we did a month of Halloween, we're going to do a month of Christmas. All right? Month of the holidays. Does that sound like a plan?
That sounds great. What are we going to do? Themes each week, or how are we going to play it?
Maybe decades, or
I like decades.
Or generations.
Yeah. And then you got to do your classics. The last day is your class, like the Friday before Christmas. Christmas on a Wednesday, so that Friday.
Should we do the classics earlier so people have more time to watch them?
I guess. I mean,
we want to educate the viewers. Maybe there's classics they don't know about. Let's give them some time.
All right.
Break it in.
All
Maybe.
right. I like the
out
crescendo.
There.
I'm a crescendo guy.
Yeah. Well,
I'm a crescendo man.
We'll talk it through.
A Wonderful Life, like that kind of classic.
Yeah,
sure.
Hey, Home Alone, all those classic ones. You know. Look at Todd's going, yeah, whatever. Well, whatever. Just let me know. I got you.
Whatever you throw at me, I'm fine. Listen, I will say though, Thanksgiving movies is, that doesn't come as easy as the general holidays or Christmas movies.
No, in fact, there needs to be a Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah.
Well, there is one. There is one that to me is the definitive Thanksgiving movie. Hands down, in my opinion.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
Yes. You got it. You got it. Those aren't pillows. Absolutely. That by far has to be the definitive movie. Steve Martin trying to make his way home for Thanksgiving. Absolutely. That's the Thanksgiving #1.
John Candy's great in that.
It's brilliant, right? Like, it's beautiful. It's sweet. It's funny. It's sad. It's got everything, it is. And the chemistry for those two is unbelievable.
Yeah, it really, I mean, listen, I think that movie has to be, and that's the one that does start airing now. Like, you see that a lot more because of the Thanksgiving theme in it. But here's the question I have for this week. So a Thanksgiving movie, obviously Planes, Trains, and Automobiles has a big Thanksgiving theme. But what about movies that are not just Thanksgiving, but have pivotal scenes in the movie that take place during Thanksgiving? Like, for example, Rocky, like the Thanksgiving dinner scene. Right?
Brilliant. Because one of the great scenes is Paulie, right? And
you got a turkey.
Oh my God. Rocky's at the house and trying to get Adrian to go on a date. And Paulie's telling her, and she's like, I got the turkey in the oven. Yeah, you want the bird? Go out in the alley and eat the bird. And he's got the leg, and he's gnawing on the leg. I mean, that's fantastic.
Right? I mean, you could argue that is one of the most pivotal scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
So when I think of Thanksgiving, I start to think of movies like that. You remember?
Todd, how about the scene after that where he takes you skating, and he's like, 10 minutes, $10. Come on, it's Thanksgiving. I'll give you $2. Nah, 10 minutes, $10.
That's it.
And that's fantastic.
That's good. I'm glad you agree. I'm glad you agree on that one. There's a few, I don't want to go too deep dive with your audience, but when I think about that kind of stuff, I think of Rocky. I think of, I don't know if you remember this, Cuz, but the classic, one of the most amazing movies of all time, The Big Chill from 1983.
Yes.
Had a huge Thanksgiving flashback scene in there. And actually, there's a lot of lore about that movie. There was an additional Thanksgiving scene with Kevin Costner that was cut from the film. So, but the Thanksgiving scene was very pivotal in that type of movie. So you have those kinds of movies, and then you have, a few that are more, again, set around Thanksgiving. There's this film I absolutely love. It was an indie film, starred Katie Holmes, called Pieces of April, where she plays like this. She's kind of like this punk rocker chick, and she has her family in for Thanksgiving. And of course, most of the Thanksgiving movies are about family dysfunction around the table, the fighting, the arguing, then the making up and the loving part of it, right? So that's that. You got the Eli Roth 80s-like slasher film called Thanksgiving that came out 2 years ago about a pilgrim-like slasher that's haunting Plymouth, Massachusetts. I think it's one of the best slasher films in the last few years.
Andrew loves it.
I saw it in his theaters.
Andrew's you're a great horror guy.
I love horror.
on that.
You saw that in the theaters. That was fun.
It was
You
fun.
saw that in the theater?
Yeah, man.
It was an A24
It's
film,
good.
right?
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong.
Think so.
Yes, absolutely. And it really is really good. It really holds up. But there's this other film I want to throw out to your audience that they may not have seen, and it is so relevant today, post-election. There's a movie, takes place on Thanksgiving. It was out in 2018, and it's called The Oath, O-A-T-H, The Oath. It's directed by and stars Ike Barinholtz, comedian, and Tiffany Haddish is in it. So the theme, so you'll appreciate this then. So the theme of The Oath is it's Thanksgiving, and the newly elected president-elect makes the country sign a loyalty oath. Door to door, people have to go around. You have to sign a loyalty oath to the new president. And Mike Barinholtz is struggling with the idea of whether or not he should sign it. It's a great dark comedy.
Wow. Okay. All right. I like it. I'll give you a shot. And it's Thanksgiving Day?
Thanksgiving Day. There it is, right
All
there.
right,
It's
all right.
great.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm in on that.
It's pretty funny.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's obviously relevant again now in this day and age that we live in. So it's a lot of fun. Lastly, I'll throw out there, and then you guys can chime in, of course. But Home for the Holidays is a great comedy on Thanksgiving, and it was directed by Jodie Foster.
Yeah, which one's what's that one again?
It's like again a family dysfunctional type thing. Home for the Holidays. Jodie Foster directed it. It's all during Thanksgiving. Great comedy.
Was that the mother is sick?
Yes. Yeah.
That's and who was in it? Because then the one brother goes to the bar, and the girlfriend's there. That's good. That's a good movie.
Big cast.
It had a big cast in it. I can't remember everybody that was in it, but it was
Bancroft, Charles Durning, Steve Guttenberg, Holly Hunter.
Yeah, that's a good. It is. That's a classic. That's a good film.
Absolutely.
Like so
no Dutch.
Didn't think about that one.
Come on, man. Ed O'Neill goes to pick up his girlfriend's brat son and bring him home for Thanksgiving. It's a great one.
Dutch.
You know what, VG? I thought maybe on your list too. How about Scent of a Woman?
I thought about it, but did not make my. I had a hard time. I could only find 4. I have a House of Yes. Parker Posey, which is trying to break up her brother's relationship over Thanksgiving. The dialogue in that is phenomenal. She's great. Adam's Family Values, because they cast Wednesday as Pocahontas in the Thanksgiving play, and she's miserable. I thought that movie was funny. That's all I got, though.
All right. Wow,
that's good.
There needs to be
that's a thin lineup.
What about Killing. Thanks, Killing.
It's
a movie about
Killing.
a turkey who goes around and kills people.
Thanksgiving.
It sounds like
Anthony destroys NBA Cup courts all over the nation.
Take a hatchet to the NBA court. Classic. I'm going to see Gladiator tomorrow. I got it wrong. It comes out today. So I'm going to see Gladiator tomorrow night. Tam got the tickets.
Yeah, Gladiator and Wicked are pretty much dominating the screens.
So I
all through Thanksgiving.
I subscribe to the dailies, which I'm sure you do, and they're pumped up because they think it's a big weekend at the box office.
I hope so. I hope so. So Gladiator 2 takes place, like 15 or 16 years after the original, something like that?
You know what? I haven't really did a deep dive into the plot other than I know Denzel and the whole thing. I don't know. Listen, I love it. I love the original, and I'm a huge Denzel fan, so I'm in.
It's funny because everyone's had the same reaction you do. It's like, I love the Gladiator, I love Denzel Washington, so I'm in.
Yeah, and I didn't do it. Like, somebody asked me, what did the critics say? I'm like,
it's doing pretty well.
Stuff like that, I don't pay attention to critics because if it's an art house film, I'll look and see what it's about and what they're saying. But I know what I'm getting. That's what I want. I'm signing up for Gladiator 2. I want to see. The only thing I do know is that it's the water. So they make the Coliseum. This is true, where they fill the Coliseum up with water, and they get sea creatures. Like sharks and all, and they name people in the water. So that should be interesting.
Here's a quote. Randy Myers, San Jose Mercury News. Foils and fumbles and all, however, Gladiator 2 is still dumb fun.
Yeah.
I have a clarification I need on this movie because in the trailer, they're showing a scene where he's grabbing Maximus's armor. And some lady is saying, "Oh, that's your father," or something alluding to a father. How can that be possible? How can the main character be the son of Maximus when Maximus's son dies?
I don't think it's Maximus' son. I think it's somebody else.
But it's his armor hanging on a wall.
I don't know, dude. I'll let you know Monday when I see it. I'm sure that. Something is that elemental. I'm sure they figured out why.
I might have to take a gubby. If we are entertained, it's not because of the sharks or the apes chowing down on the sporting
dude,
cast.
Apes!
But because of Denzel gnawing chunks out of every scene every time.
Don't tell me anymore. There's apes. I love it.
Apes.
Oh, I can't wait for this movie. Gladiator 2. Denzel, are you not entertained? There's apes eating people. There's sharks eating people. That's awesome.
That's perfect. Perfect.
We're primate guys.
Yeah, I know.
So,
we're ape men.
We appreciate it. What else I have for you? I had something else for you. Oh, damn it. Oh, God.
I heard, while you're thinking about that, I heard last night people tell me this season of Love After Lockup is really good.
Got nothing to say on that one, VG.
Love After Lockup. Oh, my God.
I didn't even show myself. You got nothing.
Hey, you know what's out? You know what's starting to stream today on Hulu is Alien Romulus.
Oh, I'm watching that this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't get to see it in theaters.
What's the word? Fun?
It's great. I loved it. It was in the theaters. It's the newest Alien movie, and it's fantastic. It's really good.
What is it on?
I know what I want to ask you about.
Hulu, I think it's Hulu. Hulu, I'm pretty sure.
Hulu. Okay, I'm in on that. Megalopolis. So it was just a disaster? Like my favorite filmmaker who did The Godfather, right? Who did incredible work.
Apocalypse Now.
Right? Like some of the greatest cinema ever.
3 of the top 10 movies maybe of all time.
Right. What was it just a disaster? Like, have you seen it?
I have not seen it. I will see it when it streams.
Who is a complete movie TV guy. You haven't seen Megalopolis?
No, you know what? I had the feeling the entire time I was reading about it, seeing everything, big, giant, over budget, the storylines. I had a feeling it was going to be a giant flop, but I am going to watch it when it streams. I just didn't catch it in the theater.
Because didn't he went through like versions of the script? It was like and the cast. Like he sold that. Like he went through his wines. I mean, he went through a fortune because he
did
financed it.
He did. But it had that, you'll remember back in the day, cuz it had that Gates of Heaven, water world feel. The big giant movie that just goes way over budget and people are like, this is silly. It just had that feel.
Wow. That's a shame, man.
Man, it's got Adam Driver, Aubrey Plaza, Giancarlo Esposito. Good cast.
I know.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll be, sometimes what happens is the critics blast a film. People don't see it in the theaters, but then when it streams and they're sitting at home and they don't have that much invested in it, they enjoy it. So, who knows? Maybe it's going to find some real new life. Yeah.
I mean, I love him, so I hope so. My brother, man, this is great. What do you got on tap for the weekend?
I'm going to head, I'm going to the Flyers tomorrow, and then I'm going to come back here, going to watch the Birds and do some things around here, and then I'll head into Philly for Thanksgiving, and I'll see you guys on Black Friday.
I love it, and we'll begin our Christmas movie list, holiday movies.
Let's do it.
We love it. Todd! Thanks, buddy.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving, brother.
Same too.
Here he is. Todd. We got to get Todd for Reading Terminal.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So, by the way, we want you guys at Reading Terminal Wednesday. We're going to be there. In fact, there'll be a couple other PHLY shows. We'll be there from 9 to 11.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll be there all day because the Philly show is going to be there. Johnny Marks.
I'm going to gain 20 pounds, cuz.
So we're going to have fun. Yeah, we're going to eat, laugh.
Belly up at the bar.
Molly Malloy's. We love it. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Wait. It's a Friday. Is that Black Gritty?
Whoa.
So, what up, guys? Real quick, because let's get to the football stuff. Those Who Die on Peacock is a Gladiator Roman Empire TV series. It's got 10 episodes. And it's like Gladiator Light. If you're bored and you want something to do.
The only thing that I can't get past is the model set. It looks like it's not even good CGI. It looks like a model.
That's why I said it's light. They're on a budget. It's on TV. It's not a movie. So
correct.
Secondly, Joel Embiid, the process is dead. Long live the franchise. It's a wrap, cuz it's so bad. You want to Connect to come here. I don't know if Connect to handle it. When I see McCain out here dancing and TikToking, and when he has his press conferences, at least it sounds like he's been through therapy. Because when you come play through the Sixers, you need some therapy in your life, cuz it is so bad.
McCain's a joy. He's one. Him and Maxey, thank God.
Yes.
They make it. They make it watchable.
Eminem, it is the only joy we got right now, cuz. So let me get myself together so we can talk about the Birds.
Oh my God.
So we're going out west, and my dad said you could use the beach house. We're in LA, no problem. The Birds love to play in Los Angeles. We don't have time because it's a work trip to go to what's that place in San Francisco where they go out down to an island? They have a jail. Alcatraz, we don't have time for Alcatraz, but don't worry. Guantanamo Bay's coming to lock it down in LA SoFi, baby. You ain't have to worry about nothing. It's gonna be so fetch. Don't worry about a thing. Jalen Hurts slow starts. Well, he finishes strong. So I want you to just shut up and enjoy the freaking show, brothers, because we're going out to LA. Everything's going to be super swanky and cush. Sunday Night Football, the whole nation gets to watch the Birds fly. Yeah!
Oh, my God.
And you know what else, guys? I'm gonna be there Wednesday. I'm gonna come hang out with y'all. Can I come, guys? Can I come on Wednesday?
That was amazing.
You have to come Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
You have to come Wednesday. Can I just tell you, your creativity every week is flat out awesome. I gotta tell you, That one blew me away. Valley Girl, Eagles fan is awesome.
It's LA, baby. We don't play in LA. It's our second home, Daddy. It's what we do. It's what we freaking do, guys. Crazy. JP knows what I'm talking about. JP knows. LA all day. VG, get them gummies ready, dog.
We gonna kill him, cuz. We gonna kill him, cuz. I'm here for you. I gotta tune it up every week for you, cuz.
The light, the smoke, the red light, the smoke. I mean, you are freaking awesome.
I think I might want Valley Girl every week.
We out here having fun, guys. We out here having fun. I appreciate y'all.
You are great. You have to be there Wednesday. It's you're fabulous.
We're having a great time. And shout out to Andrew Freud hooking me up with the link so I can call in and bother you guys. I appreciate and love all you guys.
No,
Go Birds!
Go Birds! There he is, Black Ready. That's outrageous. That one floored me. I did not expect that.
No. Well, I can't follow up that, but we do have a back in the day moment, cuz.
Back. Let's hear it. Back in the day.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah!
All right, so you guys know the dynamic here in the show. Young heads, the old heads, right? So shouts out to VG for pointing this one out to me, giving me a little bit of a history lesson, because we're going to go back to 1992 on this date. The Philadelphia Eagles up in your favorite stadium, old Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands. The Eagles took care of the Giants, winning 47-34, but we had
47-34.
Took it to them, cuz we had our longest punt return to that date in this game by your boy Vi Sakahema.
Meat Locker, my brother Vi.
You need to get him on here, cuz.
I do. I got to get Vi on.
Yeah, dude, we love Vi.
He's in Provo, Utah.
There you go.
Sakahema.
Oh my God, this is
Returning from inside the 15-yard line, and he's going to get a good return. The only man to beat was the kicker, Landetta, and Sakahema will go all the way for a touchdown with no penalty markers down.
Of the play.
And a little work on this Boldinger.
Oh, Boldy! Dude! 62. Dude, good eye!
Yeah, that's him right there.
Baldy special. You got to put that in the Baldy Open.
Yeah, I'm going to take that.
All right?
So
that's fabulous.
It's your back in the day moment,
Dude,
cuz.
that's a great back in the day moment, man. That's great job, JP. That's fantastic. Oh, my God. Look at that. God, that was fun seeing Vi.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I got to get Vi on next week.
That'd be great.
All right, everybody, that's going to do it for us. Have a wonderful weekend, man. Enjoy it. We love you guys. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
We all silly like the mayor.